with caution.
Oh. Hello, my name is Caution. Oh, I'm wearing the Allied. Okay, never mind. No Russian accent. What's up, everyone? My name is Caution, and welcome back to another RGL highlights. We are currently at week number 3 of this 13th season, and this time we've got a pretty decent Masters history. Because as you all may know, the previous season's Master play was a little bit absent, hence to everyone using their delays. Everyone is able to call in delays, etc. So we had a lot of minions duke it out in the past seasons, with the exception of one Master match played, which was Duke Bones versus Cav, if I'm not mistaken, or even Duke Bones versus Despro. I can't remember which one it was. But currently we are now in the 3rd week. So let's go over once again. Big shout out to our RGL reporter of duty, Mr. Triple TP, who is, as you all may know, responsible for giving me the forum post highlights, and from there on out usually I pick what kind of matches I want to stream. So yeah, let's go over to that one first before we head into the matches of today. We have week 3 saw a surge in matches. Bro, I wish this dark mode would actually work on there we go, perfect. Oh, that's so much better, dude. Anyways, week 3 saw a surge in matches, particularly in Masters, where we had 12 matches. We also ended up with 14 matches in Minions for a total of 26 matches this week. A figure not seen since season 11. So it seems like everyone was really motivated to get their matches done, and a lot of extra matches as well. Masters match of the week this week is going to be 2 of the favorites for this season that were scheduled to play in week 1, but needed to delay their match until this week. This match was well worth the wait, and it is Dang versus Cap. That is definitely going to be worthwhile. Best of the rest, meanwhile, in Minions, there were a couple of excellent matches. The first was between Bete and Spetsnaz. The second match in this section featured 2 of the RGL officials and was streamed by Caution. Oh, wait, that's me! That was Milkman versus Triple TP. That's right, we were there live last week. So obviously we're not going to review that one. That one will be posted later for the people that missed it on YouTube. Honorable mentions, you can tell it was a good week when a game featuring Grens, an Iron Curtain, a demo truck, and 2 mine layers, a Meek, and an ore silo didn't make it into the highlights. Okay. So that means we're going to have a lot of good fun today if a match like that didn't get picked. So, I wanted to include far more matches than usual, and most of the remaining matches had one game that was significantly more interesting than the other. So I just picked out the more interesting game from each other of these matches. Alright, so after that we have honorable mentions. It is Despro versus Dodder, Blackened versus Upps, Calf versus Maceman, aka Unano, and Calf versus Tux. And those are all the ones that we are going to watch today. So we've got Calf versus Tux in here, Blackened versus Upps, Dang versus Calf, Calf versus Unano, Despro versus Dodder, and last but not least, Bete versus Spetsnaz. So a lot of Master matches today, and only 1 Minions match. So let's go from top to bottom, except I'm going to do like a little switcheroo over here. I'm probably going to switch Dang versus Calf, or Calf versus Unano with Despro versus Dodder, so we can get a break of Calf in between. And yeah, let's get straight into it.
Battle control initialized.
Alright, and we're starting off with the first match. We've got Calf versus Tux. Tux being promoted to Masters this season. This is his first season in Masters since forever, basically. And he is up against Mr. Cav. Now, we all know Cav has been here plenty of times before. He skipped season 12, but he was present in season 11, duking it out in the finals versus Goat, and became runner-up, aka second place. We're playing on, what is this? Something with planes, right? Yeah, Forgotten Plains. I always mix these ones with all the other planes maps. I can't remember. But yeah, this one is a pretty old map, I would say. It's been around for quite some time, but still to this day a very popular map. I am kind of interested who picked this map. This is something that is hard to spot as well, you know, because we can see who played, we can see, you know, what kind of maps were played on, but we can never actually tell who picked what map. It's always have to be based on speculations. I assume this is actually going to be a calf pick. The reason why I believe this is that normally I think there is a rule that the player that is seated higher than the other player goes first in map picking. And I believe calf was, I believe this map was in season 11, I can't remember, or maybe season 10, but it has been brought back to life before. And I know this map has been pretty popular, so maybe calf has played on this map before, or not, or he just likes the map in general. We'll never know, but that's my speculation for now. Calf going for double ref? No, not really. He's going for, no, he did win for double ref, excuse me. He sold the ref to get some extra cash back and to get that war factory out a little bit faster because of the reduced power cost. Tux, on the other hand, is going for double ref, but what is this refinery placement? That is rough. It's not the best in the world, but I'm assuming he's planning to get another one up here, so I guess it will be okay-ish. Tux going for double ref as well, but so far not really that much of activity. The good thing for Cav also selling his ref, he gets like a couple of technicians and a rifle, so he can go for a scout. He's gonna prepare an APC, I believe, soon enough to escort his engineer. In the meantime, oh wow, okay, once again Tux is doing that little escort thing that he does, but his engineer is leading. Oh that was close. Are you sure it's Tux? Hasn't, well, maybe he has been bullied. I think we actually had a conversation about this before this match actually happened, so he might have learned from that and you know, hasn't said anything, or someone yoinked out his tongue. Who knows? I'm hoping it's the latter. Regardless, engineer was almost being killed by that cheeky rifle scout over there. But I do like the fact that Tux mixes in his engineers with in the same cell, escorting them with 5 each. Almost taking a risk here. I'm not sure it was planned or not, but managed to kill a rifle, but leaves himself with a damaged ranger. But at least he knows where Cav is hiding about. In the meantime, Cav is going to send his APC towards that oil. However, I don't believe it's gonna work out with the presence of the ranger there. Timings might be great though. The ranger is going towards the SD for repairs, and I still believe it's gonna be repaired in time, because yeah, the ranger doesn't have that much health. Tuck spots it immediately. Ranger's going over there, and yeah, that's gonna be a kill. Easy as that. You know, surprised Cav actually went for that. Was pretty straightforward, and knowing that you're up against an ally player, especially knowing that there's a ranger close by. But it could have worked out, you know, like for all we know, Tux could have gone for an offense using the ranger as soaker / vision gainer. Sometimes it works out. Alright. Tux fairly on time with his expansion. Cav with the same timing. He's going for this one first, so he's going for another expansion than Tux is, which means we're gonna have a close expansion war on our hands, maybe. Tux is going to be the one with taking initiative here, using the ranger to get a vision advantage. He is fighting next to the oil, which makes it a little bit different. Cav also with 2 light vehicle. The first light vehicle goes down. The APC goes down as well. Tux is still fighting next to the oil, so if we look at vision so far, definitely in Cav's favor.
With caution.
Let us go. This is a pog in the chat. Let us go.
Let's just go. This is a pog in the chat. Yo, DJ Kodan, thanks for dropping by, man, and with the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Was still pretty good trade for Tux, actually. He's getting away with a better army value. And at the same time, very risky play from Cav. He actually went for 2 refs immediately after one another on his expansion, which is something that I have been explaining in my double ref tutorial as well. It's a little bit of a riskier play, but it will definitely boost your ego. Did I say ego? Well, you know, it boosts your eco and your ego. But it is definitely risky, but it's, like I said, it's gonna give your eco a severe boost. But at the same time, you are giving up a little bit of production compared to the other people who are doing the most standard build, which is just going for 2 racks after riff. But so far, Tux is actually doing a pretty good job. He put the pressure on Cav. And he's also now aware of the whereabouts of Cav's army. Cav knows he cannot take it, so he's actually going to go retreat. And I do agree with that. At the same time, he's being able to pick off these medium tanks while retreating with his heavy tanks. He's turning around with the offense, baiting Tux into the MCV, and I'm assuming, yes, there is a static defense ready. Flame Tower right into the face, and that extra soaking should be all that Cavs needs to deal with that. The rocket density from Tux was also on the bottom of his army, so he wasn't able to kill the Flame Tower. And what a turnaround. This is exactly what Cav needed to bring himself back into the fight. And he's already expanding with the main MCV as well. And that expansion is going to be good, which allows Cav to go for easier flanks onto expansions over here, which is exactly what he wanted to do first, but he's now going to take the fight into Tux's expansion, and I'm not sure he can take that. Yep, he only has 1 heavy tank to do the soaking. Tux was already there with a pretty good concave, defender's advantage, and he was fighting in his own base, which means he has vision advantage as well. So Tux still with the army advantage. And Tux also in a pretty good position to put pressure on Cav's expansion in the north right now, since the army from Cav is bottom. But that also means that he could retaliate and deliver the same blow and maybe even do more damage to the main base. But Tux has made his decision. He has made up his mind. He is going to take on the expansion because he knows where the army from Cav is. And if Cavs wants to respond and go to the main base eventually, then that means Tux can already switch production over to the main base. Tux is gonna push forward. He sees no resistance at all, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Main base is going to be under attack. Tux should have seen this coming, but he hasn't switched his production, which is a very bad decision. If you know that your opponent is somewhere over here with his army, and you haven't seen any presence from him at all, then surely you must have a gut feeling that it's going to be in the main base, and his main base, well, is going to take a blow. The entire main base is probably going to be taken out, or at least a lot of it. And Tux making the mistake of retreating, not finishing the job. Like, yes, he took out this expansion. I am sure that he was aware of this expansion. Yes, he was. And by the time he gets there, there will be not that much to save. So I feel like this is a victory for Cav. Cav was doing exactly what I was talking about. Reinforcing his main base. Also having a hunch that Tux would have moved out to the main base and retaliate in the same way. But no, Tux is going to try and finish off this army. But that means he's going to move his entire army out of position, which could be dangerous. Seems like Tux is going to finish the job with the remainder of forces he has over here. Not going to be an easy task. He's going for the MCV. I think that's a really bad idea. I believe that Cav can still save it. No, he sold it off. It would have been close, actually. Would have been very close, but still got rid of the MCV, which is fine. Oh, but Tux is getting a little bit out-microed here. He didn't finish off the army in time. He's gonna lose an oil for that. It's not the worst, but you know, it's a little bit extra that Tux could have easily prevented from happening. In the meantime, Cav is going to move out with the army that he had in the main base. So yeah, it's hard to say. Tech's gonna try and go for a flank here with his army, but there is a bigger army to be found from Cav, but he's actually going to decide to ignore it. Oh yeah, but he was probably expecting it was only going to be medium tanks, but that's not the case. So now Cav can go for an easy cleanup here. Thanks from Tux for out of position, trying to kill the harvesters. Actually didn't manage to kill a single harvester and lost his army. So yeah, now Cav is taking over. Tux is gonna finish the job up north. So both players in terms of map control in a pretty similar position right now. Tux not retreating his harvesters here in time. That means he's gonna lose a second one as well. Pillboxes are definitely doing a good job. Good micro as well. But that expansion is definitely going to fall. Lots of heavy tanks here as well. Oh my god. It's at least like 7 to 8-ish, I believe. Tux abandons position. And once again, he is going to react and sends his armies over. He needs to be careful with the medium tanks and his positioning. He can actually do this. But Cav already got what he wanted. He doesn't want to take any bigger risk than he has to. He took out the refinery. He took out a couple of harvesters. There was still a lot of ore to be mined here. So this is a good blow to Tux's eco. Cav going to use defender's advantage right now. Tux smart enough to retreat. Okay. Cav with a very strong lead so far in army. Small attack here from Cav, but that should be able to be negated, especially with the accidental harvester support. In the meantime, Tux retaliating in the main base manages to take out 2 harvesters. And Cav on the retreat trying to defend that position. He should be fine. In the meantime, Cav is going to push on his luck with the armies in the south. Going for the main base. He also has a Raider Dome up as well. Good combined Flame Tower defense here. Smart from Tux to retreat. He knew that something was bound to happen. But retaliation from Cav here in the main base. 2 harvesters going down. That should be the entire main base cleaned up, including the MCV. I don't think the MCV will be getting away this time, but it might. Heavy tanks are not fast, at least not faster than MCVs. And Tux is going to send everything over to prevent that, but it seems the MCV will go down. Slowly but surely, the gap is becoming larger and larger in Cav's favor. Also, Tux does not want to take the engagement. I get it. Cav is also setting up a good formation. He has 5 heavy tanks leading that army versus 3 medium tanks. We might about see Tux army being killed here. Yep, Tux is going in, but his positioning is so not good. Concave from Cav is much better. His army positioning was much better as well, and that is going to be a cleanup. Send them straight to the slaughterhouse. We got Penguin on the menu tonight. Alright, there we go. Sorry, it seemed like I was put on pause. I'm not sure what happened right there. But yeah, Cav just cleaned up that army. And not looking great for Tux. 37k versus 8k right now. This game is coming to an end. We got tier 3 for Cav as well. P2 support with Yaks. There is nothing that Tux can do about this. And Tux knows it as well. Tux calls the GG and the first game goes to Cav. Actually, Tux did pretty well, but at some point was going out of control. Hey, Megatang, how you doing, man? Welcome, welcome. Alright, we're going over to game number 2.
Battle control initialized.
Between these two players. Seems like Tux's choice is going to be Assault. And yeah, Assault is just one of those maps that there's not much to say about it. Like it's a good map. You know, it's not extraordinary, but it's also not bad. Plain good old map. Very straightforward in terms of expansions, maybe not. It's hard to say. Ooh, okay. Okay. We've got some cheeky play from Cav. And we got a flame tower being made, so that's... I'm assuming that Tux is going to go for the War Factory first. Now, if Ganon were here, he would be pissed off when I say that. It's not War Factory. It's not called War Factory first because that would imply War Factory before, or no, what is it? War Factory before barracks or something like that. Regardless, both players are going for the exact same build. So the Grins are going to have a nasty time with that flame tower being ready. So this should be fine. Other than that, yeah, I think the first minutes we're not going to see that much action. But here we go, talking about action. The Grins are going in. They're running for their lives. They could actually be able to take the engineer, funnily enough. Is he going to take the engineer? Yes, he is! Good flame tower. Though I wonder what took Tux so long to build that, to put down that flame tower. I don't know, it just makes me curious sometimes where the span of attention is at that point. Because normally, 2 minutes into the game, especially if you're going War Factory first, you're not going to do anything else but keep your screen over here and build something. But luckily for Cav, it's an expensive... Actually, let me calculate that. 3 Grins versus an engineer. Grins are 160. So technically he gained profit with 20 bucks, I guess. Because 3 Engis is 480. Yeah, Assault is very mad. That's exactly what I mean. Like, there's nothing wrong with the map, but it's also not very extraordinary. It's just a plain normal map. But at the same time, there's also not really that you can complain about for a map like this being an RGL. Oh. Oh, an eye for an eye. Try to run him over. But I like this from Tux. He actually sees... Oh no, he did not. He did not see the other War Factory. Interesting. So maybe Tux might imply that Cav did win double ref, because that war, I think he actually saw that War Factory popping down as well. So I am not entirely sure what Tux is thinking at this point. Going to have to wait and see. Both players are on 4 harvesters currently. 5 for Cav now. But yeah, double War Factory for Cav this early on is pretty damn huge. He's going for a 6th harvester as well. And I mean, that's a good choice because he still has a lot of production time left before the SD comes out. So yeah, nice calculation from Cav there for sure. So yeah, double War Factory here. As Soviet, that is fairly strong. He is going for MCV straight away. Yep. And that's actually interesting. It takes 10 seconds away of the MCV production time due to having a second War Factory. So that actually means Cav's timing on MCV is still fairly good in comparison to Tux. Tux's will come out 10 seconds earlier. But, you know, being able to have a second War Factory for that, especially playing Soviets, is pretty good. In the meantime, Cav has a scouting vehicle of his own. It's pretty obvious where the expansion is going to be. But yeah, Cav is still in a pretty good position so far. Army values are fairly even as well. And now heavy tank production can begin. So 21 seconds for Cav and 28 seconds for a heavy tank for Tux. So that is actually, in a Soviet mirror, a very big difference that's going to be bigger and bigger the longer this match goes on. You know, apart from bad engagements or something like that, you know, just purely on production. But this is good for Cav. That means he gains 7 seconds extra every single time he's producing a heavy tank over Tux's production. Hopefully, the longer this game goes on, the bigger we can see the difference in terms of heavy tanks. All right, so Cav doing some scouting with the flak, killing potential scouts or guards. For Tux, actually finds the MCV, and MCVs are light armor, so a flak truck is a pretty good tool to deal damage. Unfortunately, it is... well, there's nothing to say about the flak truck anymore. He's gone. He gave his life. Oh my god, but the heavy tank, actually, I thought the heavy tank was going in as well. But this is good for a Cav. This implies that Tux is moving out. Tux tried to take that expansion as well. Okay, Cav's army is getting separated a little bit, which is not good for Cav. And at the same time, he needs to do something because his expansion is under attack as well. But it seems he's going to come out top in the bottom part of the split, I'm going to call it for now. Which is important because he's going to need that army in order to deal damage to this expansion. Flame towers from Tux right now are actually focusing on the MCV. It's not a bad idea. MCV is actually going to go down as well. That means no more flame towers can be produced for Cav, which means he has to rely on his army to do so. He still has 2 heavy tanks in his base. However, nice vision advantage usage from Tux here, who has a pretty good advantage here. And still has MCV, yep. And this is where the turnaround will happen, just purely because of the MCV. It's going to make it so that Tux will win this engagement. With a good concave as well. Yep, this is all going to be taken out. Alright. Definitely a win for Tux, but this is a pretty good win for Cav as well, using his heavy tank to take out some harvesters. He got away with 1 so far. Yeah, good performance here from Tux. In the meantime, Cav instead is going to go for the expansion up north. But there is definitely some downtime for him there. And he's only on 1 MCV as well. So that means building production for now is on hold. Tux with a small lead with 3k. And let's see if he can turn this around. He is going for an attempt to attack the main base here. If I were him, I don't see any reason for him not to bring the MCV and put up the pressure right now. But he's not going to do that yet. Alright, this is a big army from Cav, and I don't think the entire army from Tux is here. Lots of heavy tanks yet again that will make the difference. Cav is even sending his harvester in just for the sake of it, just to be sure. And that entire army from Tux is done for. That is a huge blow. And that is also something that could turn these things around. Once again, there is a heavy tank in Tux's main base, once again harassing these harvesters. And this heavy tank is going to be able to take out that harvester without being able to unload his payment. So once again, these singular heavy tanks from Cav are working out. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, a 7k lead currently for Cav. And this is going to be a good attack as well. Tuck's army is a little bit out of position. You can see that Cav is looking for the remainders of the army for sure. Finds it as well. He's confident that he can take it after a good engagement like that. And he has all the heavy tanks he needs in the world to be able to deal with this. Yup. It's mainly just the armor that is making the difference. And all of Tux's armies have been wiped out. Tux calls the GGs. And just like that, after one engagement, he was done for. Cav taking a 2-0 over Tux. Tux is completely baffled on how that happened. I hope he watched the replay. And yeah, like I said, I don't feel like there is any reason for him not to move out the MCV there and put on some pressure.
Battle control terminated.
Hey Selva, how you doing, man? Yeah, Tux definitely did very well. I have to give it to him. Definitely have to give it to him. Alright, well, we're going over to Blackened versus Upps.
Battle control.
Blackened was, if not mistaken, the runner-up of the previous season. Ended up second versus Despro. And Upps, I believe Upps was third in season 11, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but Upps recently has been in the playoffs. I can definitely remember that. So we should have a good match in our hands. Honestly, Upps doesn't play that much competitive 1v1 anymore. I have to be careful about the words I'm going to use because competitive and team games are not going hand in hand, but for some people they do, for some people they don't. But let's just say he hasn't been playing 1v1s that much as far as I know. Upps has become a team player guy for most of the time. Whereas Blackened does play a lot more 1v1s if they are available. If not, he will just go to team games as well, which I really can't blame. Sometimes you just want to play the game, and sometimes, you know, 1v1s are just not happening. Right. But for now, both players going for double ref. Actually, Upps already bringing 3 medics with his army. So let's have a look at the armies in the meantime. So Blackened decided to go for 18 rifles. Upps decided to go for 12 rifles and 3 medics. That's interesting. I'm not entirely sure. It's going to depend, but I'm not entirely sure how 3 medics can hold up with 6 extra rifles. At some point, you know, if the damage is just too high, medics cannot out-heal. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this will turn out. Upps is gonna have a look. I didn't know Upps was a charity. He's just donating players, which is very kind of him. Oh, okay, I see. Cheeky. Gonna try and blow up these barrels and potentially take a couple of rifle scouts with him, but I don't think they're close enough in order to kill a man in this situation. Oh no, not at all. They didn't even flinch. Alright, Upps going for the refinery cell. Meantime, Blackened went for 2 medics as well. And so far, yeah, it's hard to say who is in the lead. Upps has been donating a couple of rifle scouts here and there. He's now going to have a small peek at the expansion. Now, I see that Upps is going to scout the main base with attack move. Now, usually I always say that there's no reason to ever go for a move command. Well, this is one of the reasons to go move command. 2 reasons. Number 1, you actually, well, their main reason actually is you accidentally might attack a harvester, which might be the case. Yep. And there goes your scouting. There we go. Now he's doing the move command. And if he didn't do that, he wouldn't have alerted Blackened, and it probably would have gave him more time to scout the base. Now he can still see a decent bit of the base, but this is one of the reasons to not use attack move command. And I'm glad that Upps actually showed a perfect example of what can happen if you do use attack move. Ooh, light tanks for Blackened a little bit too far out. One light tank goes down. Luckily he has two. Not sure why the technicians are scared like that. Maybe they're just scared of war in general. But yeah, now Blackened knows the whereabouts of Upps' army. And I feel like he should be able to take this, but it seems like Upps is going for the double light vehicle build of allies. Rangers do offer more vision advantage than light tanks do. So this might be good for him. But Blackened is going to delay his MCV, is going for a medium tank instead. Yeah, this is good. Like, having a ranger is still really good in my opinion. You can locate the armies or the whereabouts of the enemy army. You can still set up your army in the perfect position. Oh, but he might get... Oh, that's a very good time for Upps to strike. I mean, for Blackened actually. He was catching Upps a little bit off guard. He was setting up his army, preparing for the attack, but he could not do it in time. So Blackened taking a pretty good engagement here, and at the same time being able to take out the oil. I was just thinking at the Ragall highlight streams of the last season, and now this make Ragall so much more enjoyable as a spectator, as you kind of get storylines and you get to follow players. That is, I can see where you're coming from, because a lot of the players we saw in season 12 are now in season 13 as well. And you know, even myself included is getting a lot more knowledge of these players too. And I can definitely, it's very fun to see these players grow and see them improving over time. Okay. So yeah, this is the most logic expansion. Oh, Upps already has his main MCV over there too. Okay. But yeah, Blackened already with a very strong army. 5 Raxes on the map. Upps has the same, but yeah, Upps did take a beating, and I think maybe Upps forgot production or something like that, but it's a giant concave from Blackened. Yeah, this is going to be unstoppable. Even with some pillbox support, this is not stoppable for Upps. He's gonna pull all of his harvesters as well, but oh man, that is a huge cost in order to save your expansion. He had second thoughts regardless, he pulled them back, but Upps calls it GG. And just like that, Blackened showcasing here why he was the runner-up in the previous season.
Battle control terminated.
Sometime game plays you. Okay, that was a pretty quick game. We're now heading on to Elevation, the map made by I Like Men. And secretly, this is probably my favorite map of this map pool. Due to the fact that, I don't know, this map is kind of big and it has a little bit of everything. Like, normally I'm not that big of a fan of big maps, but in general I feel like the layout of this map, the layout design is really well made. Even so, with the forward command, you know, even though it's a big map, it does give you that forward command to be able to build and keep your main base a little bit more safe. Allows you to get an ore patch as well without having to send over an MCV. You get a gem mine, which I'm not that fond about, but at the same time it does also you know, it forces the players to use it in an efficient way as well, because it is in your starting base, it is in your starting spot. So it's also kind of going to come down to how people use this. Well, for example, I'm not even sure if this is the correct play from Upps. Maybe if you're going double ref, like, I'm not too sure. Like, if you go for the gem mine, you can obviously, you know, because it's double the worth, I believe, you can get a lot more out of this in the early game. Oh, okay. And this is smart from Upps as well. He's going to deny that expansion straight away. Going for Grins, not going to give Blackened the option to capture that forward command. But yeah, something like that. Like even if you went for the gem mine, maybe you can get out a lot more Grins and still be able to make 15 rifles, for example. But yeah, very poor positioning for Blackened to be here. Cliff kind of sucks. Tried to be very aggressive and deny that expansion. He still might be able to. Yeah, this is good. Upps cannot stop that, and he actually might lose the engineer if he doesn't retreat in time. Luckily he did. Oh, but the cheeky scout going around the back, sniping the NG, really nice. In the meantime, it seems like Grins are still alive. But Blackened has 2 rifles there. He probably heard what happened in the shroud. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that's what I said means. Oh. Okay. Could have worked out. Okay, I see people opting to go for the other way around, which I guess it's fine. It doesn't really matter that much. However, I do really hope to see that both players utilize the gem mines well. And judging from the army value invested, or money invested in army value rather, we can already see that Blackened is utilizing the gem mines a little bit more than Upps so far. Hello Telix, how you doing, man? It's always a delight to have you here. Caution's regular highlights feel like a spiritual successor to Net Nazgul's Frontline Reports. Frontline Reports? This is actually the very first time that someone mentioned that to me. Maybe Net Nazgul has. I think I thought Net Nazgul actually did like a. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, he did stream. I remember him telling me that he did some sort of Frontline Reports where he actually like made up a blog or something like that, explaining what happened during the RGL season. But I didn't actually know that he also streamed some of those matches that he talked about. Well, it's always good to see that people continue all the coverage during RGL seasons. You know, first it was 5 Aces and So Scared for a while, then I'm assuming it was Net Nazgul or the other way around, and now I'm doing most of them. So at least for a spectator, it's really nice. Oh, it wasn't streams. Ah, yeah, okay, I thought so. Net Nazgul used to post articles on the forum with gifs of the games. Okay. That's still a lot of effort also, making gifs of the games. And at the same time, it's also really smart because if you're like if you're seeing a small portion of the game, especially like a gif with like maybe, I don't know, maybe like a demo truck blowing something up or a very intense engagement, you're gonna be like, oh, I want to watch that fight, you know, and then you're automatically going to watch it. So, and maybe at the same time, it's always nice for people who don't have that much time being able to watch the entire replays to be able to keep up with the season regardless with these reports. That's a cool idea. Okay, once again, Blackened making a... Okay, I am not sure that engagement is going to work out. But maybe there's not enough flame towers. We're going to have to wait and see. But still, more could be placed. Oh my god, dude, that's so many flame towers. But it's a very strong concave as well. Definitely worth the casualties to take this out. Wasn't enough. Not all of them were microed, but even then. These two are gonna get a good value though. That was actually still pretty good value for Upps. Forward command goes down, that flame tower will still get a lot of value. But now here it comes. Now Upps can retaliate into the main base. and Blackened couldn't produce enough in time to prevent that from happening. Also, Upps has a couple of flamethrowers in his army here, which might be useful as well. 2 heavy tanks leading the charge. The rest of the defenses are being cleaned up. So far, Upps hasn't gotten any value out of this attack just yet. Refinery is going to be taken out. Not entirely sure. Okay, Harvester going down, so he's getting some value here. Blackened tried to push that. Still, flame towers being placed down in his face. Sitting at the edge of the MCV placement. But yeah, so far, not much value to be had for Upps here. Especially in terms of buildings. So both players being able to deal some damage with static defenses. I have to say, it may not look like that in army value, but I do feel that Blackened somehow came out of this better than Upps. We're have to go into wait and see. Oh, here's the Grins. He's been keeping those Grins since the start of the game. It's only going to get a power plant, but maybe if he waited even longer, because obviously all the intensive fighting and stuff like that was just cooling down in the main base. So Blackened obviously had most of his attention span sitting in the main base, I am assuming. Which maybe the Grins having been used a little bit later when everything cooled down could have been more useful. Regardless, they still took out a power plant, so they didn't die for nothing. Alright. Upps definitely with the army lead. Though it doesn't look like that. I'm actually curious where the rest of his army is. Because it looks smaller than Blackened's army, but Upps does have 5 heavy tanks in total. He's going straight for the expansion over here as well. Okay, we're giving a tit for tat. 5 flame towers for Blackened as well. 3 very close. And these ones are getting microed, but there's just way too much to deal with that. Radar Dome is going to go down for sure. A good micro on the flame tower so far. Alright, Upps is going to split his army, but here comes the reinforcement from Blackened that were stuck on the other expansion. They are being moved over, and they should be able to clean this army up completely without probably losing the MCV here. Yes, sir. That's exactly what it is. And that is going to put Upps behind, not only in an expansion, but also in terms of army value. Speaking of army value, let's have a small look at the graphs while everything has cooled down so far. So here we saw a spike in earnings for Upps, which means he's actually been expanding quite fast with his MCV, because he was forced to do so because he did lose the forward command. And looking at the army value for Blackened did suffer a loss here. I think that was around where he was attacking the forward command. But then Upps had the same story just happened to him as well. And yeah, so far Blackened in the lead. He did lose his radar dome, but it seems like he rebuilt it straight away. Oh, this is a good attack. It hasn't been scouted completely, even though Upps will be able to defend it. Nice reactions here, keeping all of his harvesters alive. Going straight for the MCV to prevent flame towers from being placed, but he is fighting in yellow territory, and this is a pretty good concave from Upps as well. It's hard for me to say who's gonna win, but this flamethrowers and flame towers combination here is very efficient. That was a very good engagement for Upps right there. Shows the efficiency of flamethrowers, especially in defender's advantage. Alright, so Upps right now in a good position. It seems like he's going for a split. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. Scaring away the MCV, being able to take out the harvesters, really good. And at the same time, he's going to put pressure on this expansion over here. And he has 4 heavy tanks in that army as well, so he should be able to deal with that. But my eye in the south sees something else as well. And this is a complete surprise for Upps so far. And I don't see any way for Upps to be able to deal with this. He does have a V2 in there, but he's gonna have some serious aim if he wants to beat this. Okay, that's a good start. Really good start, but it's not going to be enough to keep the MCV safe. The 2 heavy tanks already moving in preemptively, and that MCV is a goner. And so will the V2, but it's still going to be able to fire a shot, maybe? No! Well, besides that, it's gonna be fine. Upps is going to be able to keep that safe. In the meantime, it seems like Upps was not able to take out that expansion in the middle, but he is rotating towards the other expansion right underneath the main base. Oof. Still a decent yak crash. Alright, but how is Blackened going to deal with this? He's going to send in the MCV, which unfortunately misses. But he is able to keep the expansion safe. Oh no. Luckily Blackened noticed that in time. At least in time to prevent any big losses from happening. So right now Upps in the lead with almost 10k army value difference. Lots of heavy tanks here that are damaged. This is a big army value portion from Upps. But I really like the fact that he's also repairing them as well. Because look at that, it's 5 heavy tanks. And it's gonna take a while for repairing, especially if Upps is broke, which I think was the case. That's why it took so long. Oh, but poor engagement here from Upps. His tanks were in a bad position as well. V2 shot misses. And with, yeah, engagements like that, this is going to allow Blackened to climb back up and take the lead. Upps should definitely transfer harvesters back over here. He has control of this patch, but he's actually not mining it, which might be an issue. Okay. Good scouting from Blackened with the yaks. Flame tower goes down for free. It's really nice. Upps is gonna try his luck again on this expansion, but Blackened has a decent amount of army here to defend that, including the MCV. He's on tier 3 as well. He's gonna send the yaks over. Sees exactly what's coming. It seems like a harvester might die, but no, the yaks are being sniped, being picked off, and all the yaks are being kept alive. One harvester does go down in the end, but definitely worth the trade. IC is coming online. Blackened switched to making mammoth tanks, and yeah, this could be the turnaround for Blackened. Also, we haven't seen that many multi-prongs so far from Upps. He has a good heavy tank here in the main base, being able to deal damage. But now after Blackened took this engagement in the north, he's now switching back to his attention in the south, which was at the perfect timing where Upps wanted to start his attack. Yak trying to take out the V2, but V2 stays alive. Taken out by the flak truck though. But now, yeah, Upps no infantry left, so heavy tanks are gonna be useless. It's yin and yang. They work hand in hand. And yeah, that engagement was a blow to the gut for Upps. 18k versus 10k right now. The first mammoth tank is going to get his first engagement. Harvester goes down, and I don't see Upps being able to take this. Is going to use Parabomb instead. That actually might be a really good Parabomb. Not likely. Would have been nice. Mistimed it just a little bit. Nice reactions from Blackened though. Oh, I think that mammoth is going to survive. Yep, the heavy tank onslaught. Okay. Paratroopers on the right side being mowed down by the yaks. Good uses of the X here, being able to finish the mammoth tank and the remainder of the army. I like it. But yeah, what a battle this has become. But Blackened just has more army value to give. And his eco is also looking a lot better. Speaking of that, let's have a re-look at the earnings draft. Okay, so far it's actually very similar. But Blackened definitely had a spike up here for a small time. And army value is just going through the roof. It's about similar to where he had the eco advantage as well. And he's been able to capitalize greatly off it. He's going to deny this expansion yet again. He was able to kill 2 harvesters, and he's been sitting on tier 3. So the longer this game will take on, the harder it's going to be for Upps to do anything. Shock troopers are being built defensively as well, which is going to be great. It's a good option to have. And more of Upps' eco is being denied. Blackened quickly going to take more ground, and I do like it. It's close to the main base, and hopefully he can get some more flame towers going here to keep that more safe. There is the Iron Curtain being used. I don't think that Upps saw the Iron Curtain with his last attack on the expansion where it is located, but this Iron Curtain is perfect for what he needs to break through the last defenses of Upps in this main base. But maybe he got a little bit carried away with taking out the armies, and now he's going to retreat instead. He's only got one more soaker, which is on low health. He's gonna try from another angle here, but yeah, the rocket density from Blackened is just really high. He can melt these heavy tanks, and Upps doesn't really have anything to support his heavy tanks either. The shock squad is going to merge with the rest of the army, which makes this an unstoppable force, and Upps knows it and throws in the towel. Second game goes to Blackened as well, but this time it was really close up until the end.
Terminated.
Okay, now we're moving on to the peak of this highlight reel. Was told that Dang versus Cav was the best of the best on this entire coverage. Obviously, we've seen some great games so far, so it can only get better from here on out. So after Dang versus Cav, we're going to watch some Despro versus Dodder, followed by Cav versus Unano, and then we're closing it off with BD versus Spetsnaz. So here we go.
Battle control initialized.
Now, the last time these two played each other was, I believe it was a casual 1st to 5, and that has been a long time ago. I can't even remember when I uploaded it to YouTube. Obviously Dang has been not playing a lot, also mainly because he has I can't remember what it is. He suffers from something with his hands. I believe it's Chronicle, I'm not sure, or well, it's not going to go away, it's going to last forever. I know he's playing with an MMO mouse normally, so he uses a lot of buttons on the side. He has like, I don't know, like 12 bindable buttons on his mouse. I used to have a mouse like that as well. So it's going to be a long, I don't know, Dang is probably going to be rusty, and that's the reason why he doesn't play that much, is because of that hand injury that he has. But like I said, the last time these two played, Dang won against Cav. Was it 6-3? I'm not entirely sure. I think I only covered like 5 games to make it more look like a best of 5, but I do remember that they played more. But Dang definitely came out on top, and he did also won a Dark Tournament. But I do believe this is his first entry in a RGL season. Nice. Even though Dang kept the dog alive, Cav just went in and killed him. Dang should have probably brought his entire army over to deal with it. But the fact that he still has his dog alive means that he can clean this army up. So Dang is going on to the pursuit. He's going to take it slowly but surely. But But maybe he thought that dang Cav actually retreated instead. Seems like, yeah, I was about to say, Dang did get the hospital. I saw the dog being healed, which is great. And yeah, instead of chasing, I can already see what Dang is trying to do here. He's going to set up the army to... I was implying that he was setting up the army to snipe some rockets that are going to be built later on. That still might be the case, actually. But it's not going to be the case. Dang is instead going to use his army to maybe kill the oil? I'm not entirely sure where his mind is at right now. In the meantime, he's going to secure this oil in the top left. Cav has already done so. Build a ranger to secure the engineer. Dang opting to keep that army safe, and he's going to retreat with that. I still believe he might have been able to deal a good amount of damage to that army. But it is what it is. So APC versus Ranger right now. Nothing out of the ordinary from Dang, just double rev build, same for Cav. Nothing fancy schmancy going on here. We've got 4 harvesters for Cav. And Cav went for double light vehicle build. So Ranger and light tank on the map right now. I'm not sure where the Ranger is. There it is. Once again, Cav going to try and steal an oil here, and APCs are a lot slower. Oh, Cav didn't see the APC. Yeah. It's unfortunate. Should have gotten away with it. I mean, if you do get away with it, it's really good, you know? Like, you get an extra oil. You're forcing your opponent to deal with that eventually by either capping it back or killing it, which means sending an army over to do so. Ooh, I do not like this attack from Dang. He could have seen the rocket density from Cav. Losing that APC now is gonna render his army useless. Cav going the extra mile actually still keeps the light tank alive, but that was a very good trade for Cav. Not only was he able to take out the hospital, he took out most of the army from Dang as well, and now that also means he can take out the oil without any resistance. So Cav so far in a good position right now. Off to a good start. Yeah, Dang was also in the open league, that's true. Dang has definitely participated in a lot of like single day events, but never in like RNGL. Maybe because of his injury, or maybe because he can't spend the time to do so. Very cheeky, sneaky pillbox over here. You can almost miss it if you're not paying attention. But very similar expansions so far. Cav just being a little bit faster, already has that ref on point. It's going straight away to the other one. And yeah. Like I said, he's usually the guy that goes for 2 refs at once. And he can also afford it because he doesn't really have to be afraid of any engagements coming on anytime soon. Like I said, the only thing that he sacrifices is potentially some more Raxes. But so far he's not that far behind. So let's see where he's going to move with the MCV next. Is he going to stay there with the MCV or not is the question. I'm actually kind of curious. Because I feel like having the MCV in this position is not the greatest. Yep. I do really like this. With some help of scouts, like he also has the oil, which also counts as a scout. But if you can somehow secure this area a little bit with rifles, having the expansion over here straight away is really good because it automatically keeps this expansion sorta, more or less, more safe. I do hear a light tank somewhere. Yeah, light tank from Cav taking out the oil. In the meantime, Cav going for an attack here. But Dang is somewhat ready. And, you know, I'm not entirely sure with the support of flame towers here. It could actually go bad. The concave from Dang is just a lot better than Cavs, and Cav is going to suffer a big blow here. Some nice micro of the tanks to give him a little edge, but it's not going to be enough. Dang trading better in the end. And this is what brings Dang back into the game. That Tesla coil is going to make short work of that light tank. So yeah, we already got a good match on our hands. Cav has been a lot faster with expanding, but at the same time he's also not able to stop Dang from doing the same thing. But this seems one of those matches where Cav, like, this is very interesting. Like, sometimes Cav will just immediately move out the MCV, and then there are some cases where he will just keep the main MCV in his base for the rest of the game. Oh, great. Cam's frozen. Nice. Thank you for the heads up, man. I appreciate it. I still don't know why that thing does that. Like, sometimes he does it, sometimes he does not. But for now, I'm going to switch to the other one in the meantime. Stupid piece of garbage. Actually, fucking garbage. There we go. Wait, why does that have fucking green screen on? Okay, well, never mind. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's gonna be a good attack for Dang. It got spotted by Cav, though. Yeah, it's completely another angle. I know, right? It's so weird. Yeah, that's a really good attack from Dang. Just being able to deny the radar tech. But, yeah, he knows that Cav is coming. He knows that Cav is coming. He's going straight for the MCV. Gonna be able to deal good damage. And he should be able to get out as well. And multi-prong attack here from Dang as well on the right side. This is going to be rough for Cav to do microing the army and microing the pillboxes at the same time. So, yeah, this is going to be rough. Dang is going to be able to take that expansion. Oh, no, he just lost his last heavy tank. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be a good trade here. On the other time, Cav is still chasing that army. Not letting it get away. So this is a big blow for Dang. In the meantime, he was able to get an expansion set up here. But like I said, he not really managed to take out this expansion just because he was lacking some armor at some point. So here we go. How is Dang going to stop this? Well, there's a V2 coming in. He might be able to do it. He's going to retreat a little bit to get a better engagement. Another flame tower coming down. Missed shot of the V2. But Cav does not want to fight that. He knows there's a V2. He knows eventually he will lose that army, and for the cost of most likely nothing to little. Yeah. Looking good for Cav so far in terms of army value. Dang was able to do a little bit of damage here, but most of the essential buildings except for the Raider Dome are still alive. So far I would say Cav is definitely in the lead now that the army has stopped a little bit. Let's see if I can fix straight away. Yes, there we go. Perfect. Much better. Okay. So now the medics are definitely giving away that Cav is around there. Oh, yep. And the only thing so far is Cav does not have artillery. Yet he went straight to tier 3. But Cav is going to press on. He has the idea that he has way more army value. Loses the Black Hawk. 1v2 still stays alive. But he has already fired a shot. And that's a big army from Cav. V2 is trading well. Yak is going down. That's a big chunk of infantry as well. Harvester goes down. V2 missed his shot. Dang should be able to clean it up. That's a big loss in terms of army for Cav, but he did clean up a little bit of that expansion. Refinery and Harvester went down, but not a lot of damage in general. Definitely not worth the army that he lost. So yeah, we're in for a treat. Once again, the army values have been reset. Dang has caught up on tech. He's now on tier 3 as well. He still has to get a new refinery here up and running. to restore his eco. Let's have a look at the graphs in the meantime. So it's really hard to see Cav's army graph. Let me just get a dark view so we can see it a little bit better. There we go. So yeah, Cav currently in the lead with earnings, but that might change fairly soon because it didn't look to me that Dang's eco was doing great and he's close to stalling. Yep, there he goes. He did manage to get the ref up and running. Meanwhile, army graph was looking very good for Cav, but you saw that one engagement there and made it spike real hard downwards. But still, Cav here with a very strong army, Blackhawk support, and mainly that Tanya is going to be a big threat. So it's going to come down to Dang being able to snipe it. But ever since that update came out with the skill icon for Tanya, it's been fairly easy in my opinion to do so. Best thing you can do, if I were allies, I would probably go for longbows and try to prevent those yaks from even existing in the first place, if you want to keep Tanya safe. But it's going to be hard as well with that singular flak truck scouting around looking for Blackhawks. It's also a veteran C2 as well, so it has done some big damage. Oh, okay, so I really like this combination here, using a yak and a flak truck at the same time, not only to try and find Blackhawks to kill, but also finding the army. That's gonna be huge. Cav runs straight into it, and the entire infantry got eliminated just like that. Definitely got his words out of that demo truck. Really nice play here, because at the same time, like, even if Cav saw the yak scouting around, he couldn't do anything about it because of the actual flak truck accompanying that yak. Unano calling it out as well. He saw the exact same thing. But, oh, this is not good. Well, there's a lot of yaks. Dang using the satellite at the perfect point when he actually needs to. He did find the Tanya, and he also knows that he took out a lot of infantry with the demo truck. So, only the tank stayed alive. Can Cav defend this? Can he get some really good crushes? He's actually trying. But most of the infantry, except for that big blob, is getting away. Yeah, like I said, lack of good infantry took them an age to take that heavy tank down with the infantry he had. Dang is in a good position right now. He has a good army value lead. So far, they haven't been able to deal damage to each other in terms of, like, dealing damage to expansion, taking out key structures. It's mainly been army trades over and over, and that's the beauty of games like these. Games like these can take forever with countless of epic battles taking place. Decent V2 shot. But Dang finds himself without rocket soldiers, so he has to retreat. Yak is going to go down as well. It's unfortunate. Sometimes there's so much going on that it's hard to focus. In the meantime, Dang is going to switch to Mammoths, and he has a sneaky paratrooper drop here on the bottom left side, but it's not going to reward him. A Harvester Cav is already aware, and he should be able to take that out with these couple of rifles. Meanwhile, not a lot of pressure from Cav so far in terms of eco harassments, but Dang also knows Cav. We saw that there's a lot of Tesla coils set up next to his refineries, especially next to expansions, to prevent those tank harassments onto his eco line. And yeah, minute 16 into this game, very similar army value numbers, and the tech level is the same as well. I got tier 3 allies for Cav and tier 3 Soviets for Dang, producing mammoth tanks, and just was able to get his IC up and running. But yeah, flak trucks, man, you want to have them, and it's good for Dang. Dang so far always has had a flak with him. Now he's making use of the spy plane, and he's also been producing MiGs as well to do some harassment later on to eco, I'm assuming, which is always good. We haven't seen a singular AA gun from Cav yet, so the MiGs will be very efficient. Got the first one already doing some scouting. It's already going to find his target, and that one MiG should be able to take it out, but might not be able to do so in time because reinforcements are on the way. Oh no, that might be a dead MiG. Oh no, the long... Oh wow, that was definitely not worth, but unfortunate. I was about to say the longbow was having some issues with his turning rate to be able to get the MiG in time, but the infantry finished the job. He was still able to get that harvester, but definitely not worth it. Both players very hesitant to go for an engagement here. I can see why Cav feels a little bit insecure about going for engagement. He doesn't really have radar jammers with him or a Tanya. He knows that Dang is producing mammoths. How much is a MiG? I am not entirely sure. I think it's... I'm not sure. Was it 1800? I think that's a little bit much,
Satellite initialized.
I'm not sure. All right, we got satellite initialized for Dang. Come on, man. Are you fucking serious? It's not gonna work without that. And he's not really realizing it either. Oh yeah, that's... Oh yeah, my bad. You're absolutely right. Alright. I wanted to see what the players were up to. But yeah, this is good for Cav actually. He's making very good use of it. He knows exactly where the army is. And he was sending in a lot of tanks to deal with that. But the absence of the tanks may actually cause him to lose this engagement. There's an IC ready as well. But even without the IC, that's a big army to deal with. There's the IC being used, and it's on the correct side as well. There's definitely a lot more army from Cav to be seen here on the left side. And there is nothing that Cav can do about it but run. He has to sit out the IC. And even then, I'm not sure if he can still take this army down. Dang has broken through. We'll be able to take out this expansion. Still a very crucial expansion for Cav to have. It's a double mine expansion. Yeah. And even then, trying to chase mammoths with infantry is so rough. Ooh, very smart parabomb. This is actually a really good parabomb. It's gonna damage his own army a little bit, but look at the value here. The bait from Dang. Mammoths will still be taken out. Hopefully Cav can get some mechanics there in time. But I doubt it. Is he producing mechanics? No, he's not even going to bother. That's a good MiG there. Good value as well. So yeah, this has been pretty good for Dang. Even though he lost a lot of army there, he managed to take out this expansion. He also managed to kill a lot of army from Cav, and he killed 2 harvesters in that expansion. And now with a mammoth and a heavy tank sitting here, he might get even more. But he was spotted, so guess it's smart to retreat from that angle. Once again, Iron Curtain almost ready again. So smart usage of Dang right now. Using Soviets very well, I have to say. Yeah, that's painful. We should be able to get away. But Dang is bringing reinforcements. Once again, that's a big army, but it's just mainly the mammoth tanks that make it so terrifying to deal with that. And at the same time, Cav has to be aware that the Iron Curtain is up and running fairly soon. Tech center going down, no more navigation satellite shenanigans. And this is just an unstoppable army so far. Cav knows he can't fight it. But at the same time, he has to bait out the IC. He has to engage at some point. Because, you know, Even though you know that the IC is ready to go. You have to do something about it, otherwise you're just giving up free space. Free map control. Nice scout with the yak. Still, medium tanks are very fast, but Dang is already ready and on point to deny that from happening. Those medium tanks are getting caught. Still, Cav with a big army value as well. 20k versus 28k. So it's not undoable. But it's not looking great for Cav. But regardless, this attack is pretty good. An eye for an eye. He's going for the exact same expansion where the tech is found. There's an Iron Curtain there. There's the tier 3 over there. So he's going to have a good attack here. Oh, Dang spending all of his aircraft as well. I'm not sure if I like that. 2 harvesters going down. The IC went down. But reinforcements are on its way. Cav is going to take out a couple more buildings before he leaves because he knows what time it is. But so far, Dang is taking his time. So yeah, this is definitely a very good attack for Cav. But these 3 Mammoth tanks are going to make all the difference. Concave for Dang is pretty good, but can he deal with it? I'm not sure he has the quantity. Lots of medium tanks, but the last one is about to go down. I think they traded fairly even. Yeah, but still with the static defense support, I don't know. I would probably have retreated. But Cav is going in. He wants that juicy tier 3. But just because of Defender's advantage and that vision advantage, along with the static defense support, it's gonna be close. But Cav pushes on and it's gonna be paid off, it seems. It paid off. Raider Dome gets sold. That tier 3 is not gonna go down, is it? Okay, it's not gonna go down, but you know, Dang has other... He's like, you know, take all the tech you want. I'm fine. I'm preparing a flank to go for the main base. Parabombs once again being used as support. And they're pretty good. You know, they took out some forces, but they also took out the war factory. So no tank production for Cav in the meantime. So yeah, this is looking rough. Both players have, it's been going back and forth between these 2 players, but Cav has suffered way too much damage. In the meantime, while this entire battle was going on for Cav, Dang just sneaked around, took out this expansion. This expansion was already lost. I don't think he got rebuilt. And then Dang took out the main base.
Battle control.
Very good game from Dang right now, from both players actually. Now let's go over to the second game.
Battle control initialized.
It's really nice to see games between these 2 players play out as long as it did. You know, yeah, games like that are definitely, you know, I agree with you completely. They are it's very exhausting, especially a high caliber like that. But, you know, it's nice to see that Dang, even though he doesn't play that often, he still has, you know, it's like, OpenRA is like riding a bike. As long as you got the strategy down and knowing how to play this game, the rest is just, all the rest just comes back to you very fast. The only thing that you might struggle a little bit is like, you know, having your macro on point. But as long as your micro can compensate for that, you're all good. Or your general game of thinking, which is, in my opinion, probably the highest factor that has a play in matches of this caliber. Oh, let's see if Cav has anything to say for himself after that game versus Dang. Dang once again going double ref, going for the dog. What I did really notice is that Cav is not fond of using dogs at all, even though when he's playing Soviets, which is, you know, kind of crazy to me, because dogs are really good. Can make all the difference in early engagements. However, I do feel if you are going to use dogs, uh-oh. Oh, dude. Harvester being used, that's big, man. Not only did you lose your power plant, you're also slowing down your eco. And I get it, you know? You have to make choices. But that is a big setback. I think Dan did see the Gren getting away. Alright, but look at that. It's a 30 seconds different in War Factory. That is pretty huge for Cav. So those 3 Grens definitely paying off. Yeah, Dang definitely in a little bit of a pickle here. Gren has been eliminated. In the meantime, Cav. Oh, wow. Got fairly lucky with that one. Yeah, Cav is gonna play it cool. He doesn't really have to do much. Seems like, according to the spectators, yep, Cav did miss an oil up there. Cav is in a pretty good lead, you know. Being able to get... It's going to be up an extra harvester at least and the light vehicle because of the delay with the War Factory. Dang's still sitting on 2 harvesters where Cav is already sitting on 4. So it's going to be way faster in starting that production. It's just going to be a lot faster in general with everything pretty much. So already here, Cav is going to capitalize on his advantage. He's going to take out that oil for free. And yeah, it's just going to play it safe from here on out. I don't see any reason to get over enthusiastic and maybe even make mistakes. Because Dang, obviously Dang still has a pretty big army. If Cav just decided to try and go in and try and kill that, it's going to have a really bad time, and he's going to give up the advantage that he created with the 3 Grens earlier on. Dang with a bigger army here for now, which is interesting, but Cav did use that time to go for eco a little bit faster. Interesting preemptive flame tower over here. Never seen that before. In the meantime, Dang is checking on that oil that Cav missed, and he's obviously going to take that if that is still untaken. Let's see if Cav is going to get away with that cap. Seems like he will. This time there's no range or APC to kill a scout to make a noise. And it's usually that is noises that create that. Dang does see it, but it's a little bit too late. Fortunately, no shift command from Cav. But he's still checking the engineer in time to get away. Hopefully his engineer will be safe. I doubt it. Yeah, it's gonna be there. Oh, okay. Little cat and mouse game. Okay. APC escort, and it's getting away. And just in time to see the engineer trying to retake that, and it's been taken out. Okay. Okay, but actually Dang made a double engineer to try and get that back. He's actually now going to send in an engineer to try and take that ref, but unfortunately for him, the War Factory waypoint of Cav was still set to this expansion due to the MCV, I'm assuming. So luckily for Cav that he didn't change his waypoint yet. Heavy tank secured that refinery. Alright, army values are fairly even. It seems Dang has been able to recover from his downtime. But here comes Cav going to put on the pressure, bringing over an MCV as well. This time it is the MCV of the main base. Alright, let's see how this will turn out. Tesla coil from Dang yet again. But it is going to be Cav with the first engagement here. He's going to take initiative. Flame Tower is going to give it away. Okay. Oh, Cav at the very last second decided to turn around. He did keep a small army with a heavy tank over there, so hopefully he can finish off a harvester. That means he's still gonna get a good lead off that. Another Tesla coil. Yeah, he should be able to do it. That's really good for Dang, actually. But just the awareness of Dang is pretty crazy. Like, there is no way in hell that he got any of the intel that he needed to know that that army was going over there, and he preemptively moved his harvesters away, and he was already moving his army over there. But because of his army position, the tanks have to go all the way around. Oh no, that entire army is going to be cleaned up, including 3 harvesters as well, and most of Cav's army is going to stay alive. That is going to be the definitive blow. We had a lot of sick engagements in the first game, but this one is a big one. Just like that, there is an 11k difference in Cav's advantage. Just because his tanks got caught up in the infantry, they covered up all the cells. And yeah, this is hard to come back from. And because of Cav's war factory being over here, he can immediately reinforce that army with his heavy tanks. And that is hard to come back from. Massive Gen Z update. Sounds great. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Alright, well, 1-1. It's really nice to see games like these, especially the first game was really entertaining. Very intense. Let's move on. We're gonna skip Cav versus Unano right now because we've seen enough for Cav for the time being. Let's go over to Despro versus Dodder.
Battle control initialized.
So I'm curious this is going to go. Obviously, we have Mr. Despro here in the bottom left, who is our Raggle Season 12 champion. Took on Blackened in the finals and came out on top. I can't remember how the finals went, but yeah, I remember Blackened had a very rough time dealing with Despro, and here he is once again in season 13. They went bad. Yeah, I remember something like that. I can't remember if it was 3-0 or not, but you know, I don't want to spew any lies, so. Regardless, Despro is here taking on Dodder. Now, Dodder is also one of the Minions players that got promoted to Masters, though I have still questioned that decision for quite some time. Dodder is also one of those players that does show a lot of improvement. However, you know, if Triple TP made the decision, then that's what we're going to go for. But so far, Dodder has definitely been struggling to keep up with the caliber of most of the Master players. So, yeah. We'll see how this goes. Both players are Soviet, Russia to be exact. And we've got dog versus dog action. So let's see how this will turn out. Dodder taking the initiative here. He's gonna lose a couple of rifles. He also lost a dog as well. Not entirely sure what was going on over there. Despro saw it, so he probably knows that there's an infantry escort somewhere, so he's going to take the smart route on the other side to take the hospital for good measures. And Dodder right now just a little bit clueless on what to do. He went for 4 rockets fairly fast, but I'm assuming it's because he didn't really see any infantry presence or big infantry presence. So he genuinely believed that he needs those rockets straight away. But he did not. But it's alright, you know. There's no engagements going on so far. Both players are just taking it cool. But despro is the one in control of the hospital, which is pretty good if you're playing Soviets. Dodder just secured his oil in the top left, and despro is on his way to do so in the bottom right. It was 5-0. Oh, is it best of 7? Really? But even then, that doesn't explain a lot, right? It should have been 4-0 then. I think. I can't even. It should have been best of 7, right? He too owed me in the regular season as well. Yeah, we all knew that despro was going to be a challenge. I'm looking forward to like matches like despro versus Dang and despro versus Calf to see how that will turn out. But until that happens, we will have to sit back and relax watching all the other matches take place. despro went for double flak truck so far. Doesn't seem like there's anything else going on. Very standard build from despro here. And same could be said for Dodder. Okay, never mind. It's not really a standard build. despro is going to opt to go for a second war factory over 2 extra Raxes. So it's a pretty similar build to Cav, but at the same time not really. But despro is not building anything, nothing from the war factory. And only just now started production. Small error here. But yeah, I keep saying it's like we're all humans. Even the top players can make mistakes. Scouting from despro, not really. No, he didn't really see a lot with the flak truck. But yeah, Dodder as well opting to delay the MCV build. And you know, this map does have a lot of starting ore. And you have 4 mines as well. So good awareness from Dodder here as well. I gotta give him credit where credit is due. Definitely going for a couple of tanks before expanding is the way to go. However, despro is aware of the army movement from Dodder. So he has to be careful because he could be walking into a trap. There's the scout from Dodder, seeing what despro has to bring to the table. Dodder setting up his concave. I like it. He has a second heavy tank coming in as well. He's going for the attack. He doesn't have defender's advantage, but what he does have is 2 heavy tanks, and they are going to make all the difference here. Dodder actually retreating, and I'm not entirely sure why. That is going to be a mistake. If there was any chance for Dodder to win this, he could have just ran despro over. But this is one of those examples where Dodder could just be afraid of a man like despro. And at the same time, I think I was about to say maybe he's getting low on cash because he's on 6 harvesters and he's completely drained out. But he still had some money to give and he has his expansion ready. In the meantime, despro is floating like crazy. I'm not entirely sure how he messed up. I did know that he didn't get his war factory production in time. Maybe he forgot to queue a second MCV. I am not entirely sure what happened. But Yeah, Dodder is not doing anything at all to check on Despro, and the longer he waits, the harder it's going to be for Dodder to still close out this game. Despro obviously is gonna arm this expansion to the teeth with a lot of flame towers, and flame towers combined with maybe a little bit of soaking from the harvesters if needed are going to prevent Dodder from doing anything here. It's unfortunate. This is definitely a case of Dodder just being afraid. Alright, so Despro has been given a second chance. You hate to see it. It's very unfortunate. But Despro feels confident enough now to go for a move out with his army. He's gonna find that army on the left because of the flak truck. And yeah, once again, he should be able to take out that army without losing suffering a lot of losses here, which is good because that's gonna allow Despro to close the gap between the army value a lot more efficiently here. Despro is no longer that far behind, and Dodder right now is playing reactions over here. He's going to try to react on every initiative that Despro loot is going to initialize, which is unfortunate. But at this time, you know, we just forget about it. It happened. Let's see if Dodder can relieve himself and turn this around. Very big rocket density here from Dodder, but I think I'm mistaking a lot of them with flamethrowers as well. Because yeah, there's a lot of flamethrowers in there, and that they are going to make all the difference here. But Dodder just immediately retreating, and you know, it's not a bad thing to retreat. Okay, he's going to take the engagement. He's going to set up formation. Despro went in for the chase. Let's see how this will turn out. I do like the formations of Dodder setting up here. I really like that. Very fast and efficient that he did it too. He's gonna push. Still has a incredible concave, and he still has the army value lead. But flamethrowers with flame towers combined in defender's advantage are just ridiculous. And Dodder already realizing here that he has to retreat. Good defense from Despro. But yeah, the thing is, like, Despro is just really good at sending out scouts. He knows exactly where Dodder is hiding every single time. And now an incredible heavy tank here taking out a harvester. Maybe it even took out more than one harvester, because I believe there was an eco slide in place. And there was even an army sitting there being able to defend. Well, Despro just better than Dodder in this case in terms of micro, I'm sure. That could make all the difference. Still fairly even army value numbers. Dodder with took a lot of expansions actually. But where is his other MCV? Did I miss that dying? I'm sure I missed it dying somewhere. Okay, well. There's that heavy tank again, but this time it got countered by Dodder with some rocket soldiers. Yeah, the heavy tanks so far have been doing a good job, either killing or preventing harvesters from mining. And they also provide a good amount of scouting as well. And Despro found out, okay, there's nothing here, or close to nothing. I can take that out with a bare minimum army here. Like, this is all he needs to be able to take out that refinery. That's all he needs. In the meantime, he finds the army that was sitting there onto the ore patch. Oh no, that's a lot of yaks. They're getting away with it. What? Move command? Excuse me? Okay, well, he would have been able to take out all of these yaks, or at least out of 3 of them. But it's alright. Despro so far has just been getting away with cleaning up smaller portions of Dodder's army every single time. So that means he just is trading very efficiently here. Ref has been taken out in the top left. Dodder has a formidable army over there, so he should be able to deal with it. But another small army here from Despro coming in from behind. But it's effective enough to be good, you know. Dodder on tier 3 in the meantime, and another attack. Those are 3 simultaneous attacks from Despro. One was up in the top of that expansion to cause a distraction. The other one tried and went in to probably kill some harvesters. And then a third one is trying to deal damage to this expansion over here. But unfortunately for Despro, Dodder with a good defense. And that heavy tank for Dodder is now going to pay off. Kills a heavy tank. So Dodder is still doing fairly well, but he has suffered a lot in terms of eco. Let's have a look at the graphs in the meantime. Yeah, we got a big peak in eco for Despro right now, who is launching another attack. And this one seems to be unstoppable for Dodder with what he has present. Which means his tech is vulnerable. That's immediately was being targeted. Mig is being sent in. Not sure why, because you know you're going to send that to his dead. And the army graph is going to falter. It's fairly even for now, but looking at the actual army value, that's already going to be different. Despro with a small 6k lead. And he did get what he wanted. He got the tech out of the way, killed a couple of harvesters as well, and he keeps most of his army safe. And yeah, I already know if I see Despro retreating on the right side, I already know I have to look at another angle as well, because I just know that there's going to be another attack. I feel like even though Despro retreated, he's going to be able to take out this army just with the look at the flamethrowers. Flamethrowers are just way too good. On the other side, flamethrowers are having a blast of a time as well. Look at the splash damage they're doing. Taking it out, and you know, 2 rocket soldiers with 2 heavy tanks are going to be able to take out that harvester, but it doesn't even matter. Dodder realized he is done for and called the GG. Very unfortunate because he was able to take it like at minute 6 or 7. But, you know, I hope he watched the replay and realized what happened.
Battle control.
Let's go over to the second game. Yeah, Despro definitely took control back really fast. But in a very similar style to Cav, like he realized he was behind quite a bit. He played very defensively. He kept track of Dodder's army the entire time, which was very crucial to his comeback. And then when he realized where Dodder's army was, he took a really good engagement next to his expansion with the flamethrowers and flame towers combined. And from there on out, he was able to come back from it. At the same time, he also had 2 war factories. So he did mess up his macro, excuse me. But the 2 war factories, you know, the longer the game went on, the more that was going to be an advantage for him as well. But yeah, this is definitely Dodder's pick. Dodder always picks this map, and that's something that Dodder does a lot. I believe in season 12 or 11, I'm not entirely sure, but Dodder was always playing Kosovo. And now he is playing, which is Abendland? No, Einar. Always mess those 2 up. Both are from Pink Todd. But Despro a lot faster this time with a dog. I think Dodder is going to try and overwhelm the army. But the longer he waits, the more that Despro is going to be able to reinforce as well. And then it's going to be hard to say. There's the dog from Dodder. Now he needs to be careful. He's throwing away infantry because of the waypoint, I'm assuming. Yeah. Oh, dog got sniped as well. That is big for despro. Dodder is going to be on the retreat, and despro will be able to take those 2 oils in the middle, which is very good because obviously that's going to instantly repay him for investing into the kennel and the dog. And yeah, there's not much that Dodder can do about this except wait until he gets his light vehicle out. Yeah, so in the meantime, despro is making his way to the second oil. Is gonna take that oil as well. It's gonna give him a good eco advantage, will allow him to build always a little bit of extra rifles over Dodder, making the gap even bigger. You know, it's a big deal, especially so early on. And it might only get worse from here on out. So let's see how Dodder will come back from this. It doesn't mean like losing the early game never means that you have to you're gonna lose the game, especially because he kept most of his double ref army safe. But it is going to be hard to do so. Here comes the APC, but I don't like that. despro only has 3 rockets present, but was enough to scare Dodder away. Yeah, big rocket investment from despro here. But if that APC decides to go in, then it's gonna have a really bad time. Oh, he's actually loading in some rockets. 1 so far. Not sure what Dodder wants to achieve here. Despro's army is just a little bit bigger. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. That was very unfortunate timing. But this is a very good attack for despro still. And look, the rockets are in a perfect position to try and get rid of this APC. You don't want to keep your army still for so long, especially against an experienced player like despro. They're just going to take advantage of that. Still going in with the APC, managed to snipe a rocket. Dodder had to retreat. Good engagement for despro there. MCV coming on to the field for both players. despro just being a little bit faster. But they're going for the obvious expansions here. I was about to say, maybe he wanted to place a flame tower down before he wanted to move out. despro going straight to the expansion. Dodder's going to destroy his own oil pretty much, so good for despro. Like, he got what he wanted out of that, all the benefits. Eco slide is present. And the fight might happen in the middle. Doesn't seem like despro is going to go for a base push here. Instead, he's going straight for the expansion. So I'm assuming he's implying that either Dodder went for a move out straight away. But yeah, sometimes the one taking initiative is going to come out on top. That scout got killed. Dodder did realize, but he thinks that the attack is going to go to the main base. But no, it's going straight to his expansion. Dodder quick enough to move away the harvesters. despro retreats in time. But his army might get caught, and Dodder's army is definitely bigger with more armor as well, but he's a little bit hesitant to go in straight away. He's going to continue the pursuit. Let's see what despro has to say about that. Obviously, I was exactly about to say he is going to take advantage about the fact that Dodder is just trying to chase this army down. He's looking for it with his entire army. Seems like a rocket drop happened here, but despro managed to save his rockets, but didn't kill the harvester. Second attack here onto the main base. And Dodder's army now completely out of position. So here's what's going to happen next. Now he's going to completely forget about the fact that there was an army in the bottom somewhere. He's going to move his entire dead ball army over to the main base. He loses the refinery. Despro keeps his army safe. And now his other army is moving back in the south. Once again, not killing any harvesters, but at least pushing them away from the ore patch. A fourth harvester is coming in, probably an eco slide error, but the ref is going to be killed off. So 2 refineries being lost here. And little to no army lost for despro. It's going to suffer a poor engagements here on accident. But this is good. Like, a lot of eco has been dealt with. Oh, no, 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 no. A little bit of a mistake here from despro. Didn't scout, didn't believe that Dodder was already sitting there. Another attack. This might actually be good for despro. He was catching Dodder's army formation a little bit off guard here. And here's that other army that's been coming in back and forth. And it is coming in at the perfect time with 3 heavy tanks. Fortunately, the army still got cleaned up. But not a lot of rockets to be found here, so he should be able to clean it up. Dodder, in the meantime, he has enough. He's running out of... You know, he's just done with it. He's like, fuck it. I'm done with this stuff. I'm going in. But despro was expecting it, and he still has an army ready in the main base. Once again, with a good amount of flamethrowers. And he has the heavy tanks supported with the rockets that can effectively deal with this. And here's that rocket drop yet again. Trying to find some harvesters. But doesn't find any things of that. So he's going for the MCV instead. Another attack over here. Dodder is getting extremely overwhelmed. Despro is in complete control. Not even realizing that his MCV is under attack. And he's going to go down to 3 rockets. He had a static defense ready, but I'm not sure where he placed it down. Yeah, oh, probably placed it over here. Dodder calls the GG, and despro takes it 2-0 over Dodder, which could have been a 1-1. So I don't. Dodder can be happy about that first game, or maybe not. It depends. Like, if he saw that despro actually made a big mistake, and he couldn't prevent despro from coming back from that. It's hard to say, but regardless, Dodder did pretty well taking on the Season 12 champion. And let's go over to Cav versus Unano.
Battle control initialized.
Who had some pretty lengthy games as well. We're back on Einar. And we've got Unano in the top left, aka Midspan in the blue. Not a lot of times that we see him playing in the blue, but it's probably mainly because his main color looks a lot like Cav's color. So out of respect, Unano is going to play in his away colors versus Cav in the bottom right. And we've got a classic Allies versus Soviets match going on. This feels more like despro. Yeah, that match was all despro. What we are used to seeing of him, just relentless pressure with very small armies. And you know, it's a good way of showing how to deal with a dead ball army, but at the same time it could have also backfired if Dodder decided to go to the main base a lot faster. Then he could have been able to prevent that, but you know, he was just trying to react to everything despro did, and it was hard. Like, first of all, despro forced him to get completely out of position chasing that army that he would never been able to catch up to, and then because of that, Despro was able to apply pressure. Dodder moved his army all the way back up to prevent that from happening. And then the party started over again in the bottom. And it just went back and forth from there on out. But in the meantime, we're talking about Cav versus Unano. So far, nothing has really happened. Cav is just trying to look for the engineer, I'm assuming. Maybe he's trying to secure this oil for the future. But with a similar rifle investment. Big investment from Unano so far, actually. And Cav not investing in rockets yet. But there's really no need so far. Unano just making sure that it's not getting flanked or any weird stuff going on. Okay, it's gonna go in with a decent concave. Just want to play it aggressive. This might backfire for Unano. Oh dear. Oh yes, it will. His own light vehicle support might not be close enough to do so. Cav is going to go in. He has a good angle as well. Yup. And because of the ranger, there's nothing that Unano can do about this to prevent this from happening. So not only did he not take out the oil, he's also in danger in losing his army. So here comes the flak truck to save the day. And the concave from... Oof, yeah, from Cav was not great, but he still cleaned it up. But now he doesn't have any vision to be able to deal with the flak truck, so he has to retreat. So Unano can retaliate just a little bit here.
With caution.
Hey
Not that
mate,
much.
I graduated. I'm now officially a EGB paratrooper.
What the hell? Oh, I graduated. I was like, what is my announcer saying? You graduated. I'm officially an EGB paratrooper. Yo, Sir Boyle, let's go, man. Congratulations to you, dude. Amazing. Great to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, congrats with your graduation, man. You deserve it. You definitely deserve it. Thank you for the resub. 14 months in a row. Golly. Alright, Cav is now going to repay the oil visit that Unano gave him a while ago. You're also back home now. Let's catch up over the weekend. Yeah, let's do that, man. It's been a very long time, so we can definitely do that. I don't have any plans so far this weekend, I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm very impulsive with stuff like that. But yeah, sounds good, man. Okay, good concave. Lots of rockets here from Cav so early on. Yeah, next to a flame tower. And this army, definitely not the engagement you want to take. In the meantime, where is the expansion from Cav? Oh, there it is. He went for the other ones instead this time. Okay. Interesting. He has no racks up here yet, so... yeah, he's gonna be in a little of a pickle because that refinery is going to give it away to the scout. His army is not even close. So how is he going to do that? How is he going to keep it safe? He needs a racks there ASAP. Okay, okay. This is good reasoning from Unano. Being aware that it might be some sort of base push, so Took out a harvester over here and gets the refinery. That's really good. Tesla coil from Unano's in the making to deal with the harvesters over there. A turret from Cav is going to claim another harvester. Now Unano trying to clean this up, but now it's going to be hard to make that happen. 2 Raxes and pillbox production as well. Should be able to stop that, I feel. Yeah, that's a very good pillbox placement. I like that one. Harvesters are going down left and right, but this is what we've been talking about. I saw this flank from miles away. Cav has preserved this army since the start. He sent that army onto a big flank straight after he went for the base push, so this was a very, very wide flank. The light tank is getting distracted, not providing any vision. But at the same time, he can get a harvester out of it, so might be good enough. Yep, the light tank actually claims a harvester here. The forces are not enough for Unano to deal with that. He tried to preemptively place a flame tower here, but the army is going the other way, sniping the power plants. And that light tank might soon claim another harvester if that is going to go on like this. In the meantime, Unano managed to force his way into the expansion from Cav. But at what cost is the question. That light tank does get another harvester. That is huge. Huge. Absolutely crazy. In the meantime, Cav did suffer some eco as well. Like his expansion rift got killed. His harvesters got killed over here by the Tesla coil as well. And he barely with a magic pixel keeps his MCV alive. And he lost a lot of army in that engagement. So now it's still looking rough for Cav actually. I feel like Unano did a pretty good job being able to defend. But he suffered a lot of eco. But in the meantime, so did Cav, especially losing these harvesters. Hopefully he can keep that harvester alive, but he forgot to retreat it. But it's only the heavy tank now that can kill it, and the heavy tank is definitely going to do that. So yeah, evening it up. Let's see, we have 3 harvesters for Cav, but only 1 for Unano. He still has 3k in the bank, and he still has both of his MCVs. But Unano needs to be careful with his production though, because he's still producing infantry and tanks at the same time, so he might stall. Very crazy game so far. Where is the MCV? Did it get killed? It was on a sliver of health. And maybe if he even missed that, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. This is a rough game. Crazy game as well. So Unano has the army lead and Cav has the harvester lead. Oh, not anymore. Not anymore. Yeah, this actually might be in Unano's favor. He might actually be winning here as well. He's gonna send over another army to flank the main base. Cav has to play very defensive here if he wants to make a comeback. And yeah, it's unfortunate that that expansion right now is pretty much worthless because of having no harvesters. Cav in the meantime has managed to deal with that threat, but there's a bigger threat on its way. No armor to be found, so... Alright, Cav is back on 4 harvesters, Unano's on 5. Eco has been restored for both players. Crazy game so far. It seemed like Cav was actually doing a pretty good job. Like, he dealt a lot of damage and he did lose a lot of army, sure. But the biggest thing is that Unano managed to retaliate as well, especially in terms of eco harassment. if Cav could have prevented losing all of his harvesters, not even rest, but just harvesters, he might have been able to crawl back and come out on top, just mainly because of eco. But now it's gonna be rough. Oh, and there's a lot of armies to be found here from Unano. And that single flame tower has been really good, not only to prevent harassment, but just for scouting as well. Also, Unano still has 2 MCVs, so he can just restore his eco a lot faster than Cav can. And at some point, Cav is going to need a second MCV for sure. And because of that, he might fall behind in terms of tank production, which is something you don't really want. You never want that, but in this case, because Unano is Soviets, might be a rough one. Anyways, that MCV is going to go down. But Cav might lose his entire army. The concave for Cav is still pretty good. Defender's advantage as well. Cav sending in his tanks forward. I'm not sure I really like that. Unano is doing a much better job with his single heavy tank, keeping it alive. Cav just trying to go for crushes. But oh, it's really close. It's really close. Really close fight. Cav barely coming out on top here. Okay. Main MCV from Cav is once again on the move. And there's another MCV for Unano. So once again, he went for that straight away. He's going to send a very efficient small army over here containing, well, 5 rocket soldiers. That's gonna pack a punch, and that army is still sitting there. I hope that Unano didn't forget about this army, because this army is going to have incredible value. It only has 2 rocket soldiers, which is, you know, it's not the greatest, but can still pack a punch. Okay, harvesters are being kept alive, really nice. But Unano has to make a decision. Either he has to run or kill the refineries. And killing the refineries is a little bit too late. And that is very unfortunate, because Cav has a vision advantage. I'm still surprised Cav has the bigger army lead. But Unano is playing him really well right now, I would have to say. Oh, the army from Unano got spotted. And because of that, Unano remembered that he has an army over there. He's gonna try and kill the expansion because he saw the eco slide. Okay, tanks are going in for crushes yet again, but here comes the cavalry. That should be enough to deal with that. 2 pillboxes as well. He should be able to keep the safe. MCVs being targeted. Actually, I feel like losing that MCV doesn't help Unano at all. Or Cav losing that MCV doesn't help Unano. He lost that entire army, and now he's 6k behind in terms of army value. If there's a way for Cav to make a comeback, it's gonna be this one. And now he's going to attack a vulnerable expansion up in the north with a very sizable army that, even though with flame tower support, I think is going to be impossible for Unano to keep safe. It's flame tower micro so far. Lots of medium tanks have already lost their lives. But Cav is determined to push forward. There's some good splits going on here as well. His infantry is gonna take care of the rest, while the medium tank over here is gonna cause some chaos. 5 harvesters immediately are not working anymore. Retaliation from Unano seemed to have worked out. I was about to say, I thought that Cav had an army, but it seems the two armies have passed each other. So Unano once again has been able to deal damage to Cav during Cav's pressure. But Cav definitely coming out on top here. So yeah, Unano at this time has the harvester lead, but Cav has the army value lead, and Unano trying to send his harvesters back to work, but all one by one are getting killed. Unano's focus was somewhere else. Oh no, this harvester is gonna end as well. That's 4 harvesters down. Oh my god, this is a game changer. It was looking grim already for Unano, but this one is going to seal the deal for sure. His expansions are falling left and right. He suffered so many harvester losses, and now it's looking really grim. And all that with just 1 MCV for Cav for the longest of times. You know, and that doesn't say it all, but especially when both players lost a lot of their expansions and harvesters, having 2 MCVs is a huge deal to restore that. Yeah, Cav doesn't even have a single MCV, that's true. He could rebuild it, but he doesn't want to, and he also is floating 6k cash. All the eco in the world. Here comes another attack. Once again, another harvester being saved by Unano's observance, but that means once again another harvester not working though. Medium tank on the chase actually finds it. That's huge. Unano now trying to save it, but yeah, medium tank is too fast. There's no getting away from that one. Or is there? Unano's doing a pretty good job doing the defense, but here is another army just sitting onto the ore patch. Oh, the harvesters got away! That's crazy. But another one gets saved, another one falls. Unano on 3 harvesters. Small retaliation here from Unano, but gets cleaned up. Most of the army from Cav was just waiting for Unano to make that move. And this one could be rough for Unano as well. It is a big army, but this entire infantry army consists of 1 rocket. But micro from Unano, they're manually targeting the units behind the tanks. Will still seal the deal. But it is going to come to an end fairly soon. Unano still on 3 harvesters, only sitting on 1 MCV. And yeah, probably not that much eco, because I was about to say his armor production, aka tank production, is almost non-existent. And look at that, look at these medium tanks. There's no escape. Look at the crushes. That is going to seal the deal completely. Unano throwing in the towel. Almost got a refinery with that engineer as well. I think he was even going to get the harvester as well, but unfortunately it was already over and done. Alright, moving on to the second game.
Battle control initialized.
All of these matches have been really great so far. I have been told by Triple TP that there were a lot of games. Like I said, there were 26 games being played the previous week, all RGL matches. I believe it was 14 matches in Minions Division, 12 matches in the Masters Division. So that means there were way too many highlight matches to be shared in this one compilation of highlights stream for me. So That means that there is a lot of matches that won't be covered, but don't be scared because I am actually considering doing a part 2 for this week. So if you guys that are in my Discord, if you can post the matches that you have seen or you want to be covered by me, please post them in my Red Alert channel in my Discord. I remember Gaseous actually wanting to see his set versus Cav, especially the second game that he played, but I'm not really a fan of just casting one game of a set. So yeah, if you do want to see a part 2, please send me the replays that you want to see in the Red Alert channel, and I will make sure to do a part 2, which has never happened before. But obviously I'm going to need a little bit more than 1 or 2 sets to make that happen. Yeah, just let me know. Would be great. Alright, in the meantime, we've got the second game between Cav and Unano, and we're playing on greener pastures. It's a very popular map as well. I've seen this map pop up a lot, especially in the Master Division. I've seen this map a little bit more than the Minions, but nonetheless, he's also popular in the Minions Division. Ooh, that's close to the barrel. Yep. Something got killed over there, but it's not an engineer, otherwise they would have been vetted. Cav is going to push on. All of his rifles are grouped up, and they are going to be able to pick off these 1x1 rifles that we're reinforcing for Unano. Cav also has the hospital, which is going to help a little bit, but small retreat from Unano. But still, he's going to lose the oil. And did he lose the engineer is the question. Wait, why am I looking around if I can just see? No, there he is still, the engineer is still alive. There it is. Maybe he just made a new one, I'm not entirely sure. No silly light tank crushes. Yeah, we had a lot of fun watching you. Was it the first highlight or the pre? I think it was week 2. Which makes sense because week 2 was technically 2 weeks ago. Because we're now in week 4 and we're covering week 3 obviously. Oh, week 1 even. Okay. So it's been a long time indeed. Hey, Amprin, how you doing, man? Okay, so a lot of action going on here in the first 3 minutes of the game. Cap going for the APC. He should be in time to capture this oil and keep TNG secured. Light tank is going to deal with that. Yeah, that's good use of the light tank so far. There's nothing that can stop the light tank from destroying that. The only thing that Cav could do is actually load in some rockets into the APC and then send it over and kill the light tank. But Cav is not going to be bothered. He will just take that oil instead, which is fair. Yeah, looking good for Cav so far. He managed to steal the oil from Unano early on here in the middle. I think Unano did spend an extra engineer to recapture that. Now he's going to send over his engineer to deal with that. Oh no, but the unfortunate timing. Cav not paying attention though. Oh, he gets the oil, which is good. But it is going to be recaptured fairly soon. Yeah, Cav is going to steal that as well. And nothing that Unano can do to prevent that. Cav already looking good. He's a little bit faster with expansions as well. Army here is going to take out the oil that Unano recaptured earlier. Good scout from Cav as well. Is going to see the Expansion. Does Cav see that? Yeah, he sees it because of the hospital. And he's going to get himself a free medium tank. Okay. So you see, kids, always capture the hospital. You never know when you'll need it. I do really like the back and forth from capturing oil so far. So Unano investing in that engineer was definitely worth it. APC is still being chased by the line tank. But it's going to meet its end perhaps. No. Fast reactions from Unano. Instead, Cav losing the flak truck. Scout being killed here by the heavy tanks. Unano saw it, so he can prevent any eco harassment. But there's two though. Can he deal with two in time is the question. Engineer got killed. And I heard a Tesla coil somewhere. Okay, preemptive Tesla coil from Cav here. Okay, so here we go. Two heavy tanks. Unano occupied, trying to prevent that heavy tank from killing a harvester, but it's still doing a good job. In fact, it actually might kill the harvester still. But no, fast, quick thinking from Unano here, saving the harvester. And he saved the other one as well. Oh, Raider Dome is going to go down, but that's a big army from Unano. He should be able to deal with that with a good concave. But no armor though, except for the harvesters. One harvester going down. Oh, here's the two medium tanks. And yep, pillbox support. Unano definitely won that engagement, but still he did lose some harvesters. And here's another attack, and Unano just sent everything back to deal with that attack on his expansion. Let's have a look at the harvest count. In the meantime, 7 versus 5, so Unano definitely lost a couple of harvesters at least. Second war factory for Cav is also there, so that's gonna be 7 seconds or 8 seconds. I kind of forgot. I think it was 7 seconds faster heavy tank production. Yeah, good concave here. It's gonna take a while for Unano to set up his concave. He's sending his medium tanks forward. All his medium tanks, except for one, are going down. So pretty good engagement for Unano so far. Taking out another free heavy tank. Yeah, this was a good engagement for Unano. But I don't think he's in a position to deal damage to this expansion. Takes out another heavy tank. Pretty much for free. So far Unano's doing a good job. There's another heavy tank going into the expansion. That might be an issue. Cav doing a good job here chasing the army. He has a feeling where Unano wants to go. Yep. There it is going in. Cav should be able to keep all of his harvesters safe here. Doesn't even have to retreat them. And he should be able to deal with that army as well. Small engagement here. Almost took out a harvester, it seems. But Unano didn't want to linger around. Did get spotted by the Tesla coil. Cav did see it. So he's immediately going to send a little bit over here, I'm assuming. Heavy tank still alive. Heavy tank still alive. Didn't kill any harvesters. Once again, quick reactions from Unano. Keeping his harvesters safe. In the meantime, taking out an oil. There's a harvester chilling here from Cav. I think he's on strike. Oh. That heavy tank from Cav might reveal the RT, but it also might not. Yes. But Cav doesn't want to kill it, and for good reason. Alright, but yeah, Cav is looking in a much better position. He's already on tier 3. He has a very standard build that he does here. Goes for a riff, immediately expands, goes for that riff, expands after that, and goes for this expansion, and then he just sits there. And on this map, he always keeps his main MCV in his main base. Cav Unano so far only sitting on 1 expansion. So let's have a look at the graphs in the meantime. Earnings graph is through the roof for Cav, and it is to be expected with 3 expansions in total compared to Unano. And the army graph, yeah, army graph has been looking pretty good in Cav's favor, especially later on. He's been taking the better expansion, the better engagements, combined with some eco harassments here and there. Both players on tier 3. Iron Curtain is ticking down for Cav, and he's already setting up another flank. Unano going for our beloved Tanya, and it's gonna be a while before hell is going to be unleashed. Heavy tank finally got dealt with. Seems like that one heavy tank was still an annoyance. Ooh, okay, Blackhawk in combination with Tanya here, taking a good chunk of infantry. Oh wow! Oh! Cav was having issues clicking Tanya because Unano's Blackhawk was flying in front of it. And because of that, Tanya was able to kill a chunk more of infantry. Oh, that's unfortunate. But it happens. That expansion is left undefended and is going to be taken out. For free. 2 harvesters. 1 harvester just arrived as an eco slide. MCV packs up and runs. RTs are being taken out by the Yaks in the back, with some extra rifles and rockets going down. It's a good sacrifice to make. In the meantime, that army is still sitting here, and it is going to reveal itself. So yeah, this will be hard to deal with for Unano actually. Not much he can do about this particular army. Most of the army has been cleaned up in the main base from Cav without that much damage dealt. Yeah, 2v2s here, a couple of static defenses, and an MCV should be able to keep that expansion safe as well. Yeah, it's 28k versus 13k. Oh, preemptive Iron Curtain being set up here. It takes all of his time. 5 heavy tanks is maximum IC value. And yeah, good luck with that. Like, the good thing about this is preemptively setting up the formation to get max value is you can spread your IC and get invulnerable tanks everywhere. But look at that Tanya just coming out of the racks, cleaning up all the rifles and rockets. And she gets taken out. That was a good clutch Tanya right there. But there's still a lot of heavy tanks running rampant, and they're going towards the main base trying to get some more harvesters. Even though there's going to be rockets over there, it's going to be hard to stop those harvesters from dying. Unano is only on 3 harvesters so far. Not looking great. But it seems like he is going to prevent his harvesters from dying. There's another army from Cav meeting up with the army that was defending the expansion earlier from Unano. And it's 25k versus 9k. Cav finally moved out this MCV as well to take more ore. And I like that because... Oh, we got another harvester. Because now he can deny that expansion for Unano as well. Even this expansion gets denied. Unano's also broke. and doesn't have that many harvesters to start with. And look at this sheer amount of heavy tanks here, man. Oh my god. This amount of heavy tanks can't even deal with rockets at this point. That's exactly what they're doing as well. Okay, now we're seeing Meeks now to take over from the heavy tanks. Unano calls the GG, and Cav takes it 2-0 over Unano. The first game was very, very close. Second game, not so much, but it still took Cav a long time to conquer this game. Very good defense from Unano.
Control terminated.
Okay, we have arrived to our last game, and it's gonna be a long one as well. We've got our only minions game this week, which is Spetsnaz versus bete. Now, so far, I think Spetsnaz has been in every single highlights reel, I believe, and this is the first one for bete. Spetsnaz so far has made a name of himself in the previous season in the recruits division due to his mine layers. So far, I haven't been amazed because there was this one game last week where I actually lost half of my brain cells because Spetsnaz just donated 5 mine layers. So what Spetsnaz usually does is he sends mine layers to ore patches and puts mines there. You know, it's very effective getting harvesters. But what he does, like what he doesn't do, is look if there's actually something there. So let's say it's minute 10, right? He just randomly builds a mine layer and he goes to set up mines over here. But there's like an expansion over here, for, let's say, and just kills the mine layer. That happened like 3 to 4 times in the previous highlight stream. But I feel like this is a choice from Spetsnaz because Spetsnaz also loves this map a lot. So let's see how this will turn out versus bete here. That is ballsy. And this should be the time where bete goes in, or he's going to regret it. And he's going to regret it. Well, I'm glad he went in when he did. Now he can just take that back. He also killed the engineer. And that is going to leave Spetsnaz with 0 oils. Spetsnaz is now going to try and kill the NG. He might actually get away with it, to be honest. He's going to get away with it. That's unfortunate. Big investment in rifles from Spetsnaz. A really big investment. Luckily for him, bete is going for the flak truck, but Spetsnaz is really far behind. He's focusing way too much on micro. Look at that. He just put up his war factory, and what is that placement? Why do you not set it up over here? It feels so pointless to set it up over there. This one from bete is a lot better in my opinion. Less downtime for harvesters to reinforce the ore patches, and still in a pretty good position to get your MCV in place. Alright, both players went for a second engineer. Ooh, now bete not building any buildings. That's not good. That will mean that Spetsnaz will catch up. That's going to be really unfortunate because that means his war factory is going to be idle as well. Yeah, BD's not producing anything except infantry. And I wonder how long that is going to take. SD for Spetsnaz is already ready. MCV will be built. There it is. So that's gonna cost him a lot of time. And BD should actually build a new flak truck right now. A new flak truck or an APC. There we go. Will help him, you know, at least get something out of his war factory. While he's building his SD. Yeah, that's a lot of power plants for some reason already. Very strange. Alright, looking at the army value right now, we've got 7k versus 4.3k. And Spetsnaz already decent timing with the MCV. Obviously, BD is going to be a little bit late. He does have the army value to show for instead. Question is, what is he going to do? In the meantime, there is Spetsnaz going to use the mine layer, and this time the mine layer could actually be very effective due to the fact that BD was a little bit late with his MCV. We're going to have to wait and see. This is what I'm talking about. I don't get the fact that Spetsnaz just goes for it. Even though he knows he got seen. Okay, BD's trying to manually take out the mines. Because he knows. And he's actually getting them as well, okay. Except for 2. I don't think that could be enough to kill a harvester actually. I think it's 2. So yeah, I hope for BD that 2 harvesters tank 2 mines separately. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about with the mine layers. Like Spetsnaz is just going for it and not really babysitting them nicely. This is what I really dislike about his investment, because like mine layers are definitely not bad, let me tell you. Like they can serve their purpose. I feel like they serve their purpose more in team games, but they can definitely serve their purpose in 1v1s. But if you do that, you are obviously also giving up at least 1 tank every time you do it, because you know, instead of going for a mine layer, you could have gone for a tank. And what I also don't like is Spetsnaz never uses a waypoint for his war factory. Every single game that I costed. And it's unfortunate because I know that he's not watching my streams, which is fine. But at least watch the replays. Like there's so many replays where I've seen like at least 6 or 7 heavy tanks just chilling in front of his war factory, not doing anything at all. And they could have been used in actual engagements. But so far, Spetsnaz has took ground real fast. BD actually did the same thing. Harvester is going to die barely. Spetsnaz going for radar dome. Ooh, no eco slides from BD. That could be an issue as well. That means he's going to be stalling, but for some reason he's floating 6k. Might have to do with the fact that he wasn't building from his war factory and not building any buildings that fast. But he's gonna take a really good engagement over here with all these heavy tanks and a strong concave. BD can definitely force this expansion. There's nothing stopping him over here, and this is huge. Not only there's a lot of Rexes to find, there's the MCV, there's 3 harvesters, there's radar dome. Harvester or MCV is going to get away, but that's fine actually. Like, it's not gonna cause any issues for now. BD has to make sure that he gets his value out of it. But I do like this setup from Spetsnaz. In this way, his MCV is fairly safe. BD actually is going to lose his MCV by a sneak attack from behind. Lots of rockets here from Spetsnaz. Oh my god, he's gonna clean up that army. That is crazy. Yeah, he should have laid mines over here for example, or over here indeed. But here it is. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Spetsnaz took a good engagement over there, but you know, having those heavy tanks could have been. Here we go. Okay, so now he's actually lucky that there's nothing over here to deal with that. But this is what he usually does. And this time it seems like it's going to work out against BD. But if you see rockets like this, are you not trying to get away? There we go. Another mine layer lost for no reason at all. Alright, BD now trying desperately to remove this expansion. But Spetsnaz has his production going on over here, so... This is... crazy decision from Spetsnaz, but... He did actually manage to kill 2 heavy tanks without BD retaliating. Because BD can just clean up this entire army. There's the flame tower. I really like the flame tower though. That was pretty good. Wait, what? What the hell? Why is there 5 NGs here? What? Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear. This could be good because Spetsnaz is way too occupied fighting this base push from BD. And yes sir, the MCV is going to be taken out. Yoink. Spetsnaz realized what was going on, but way too late. It's not the end of the world, but still, this MCV could cause a lot of troubles for Spetsnaz actually. All BD has to do is maybe get a racks up here. And, you know, you can start a production safely behind enemy lines. Talking about behind enemy lines, that's where Spetsnaz is currently at with his 4 heavy tanks. But he managed to keep them safe. It's 22k versus 23k right now. Spetsnaz with the take advantage. Oh, he still got a harvester with those mines. Okay. Well, he did invest 2 mine layers to get 1 harvester. So, definitely not worth. In the meantime, BD has to eco slide. He has 5 harvesters in the main base. And he's on no cash at all. That is going to be his undoing. So hopefully he realizes that at some point. But it doesn't seem like that is going to be the case. And... Oh no. Unfortunate. Well, at least Spetsnaz is killing his own MCV. That counts for something. Is Yaks over here just chilling? Could have been taken out easily. Okay. War Factory and SD killed off. Keeps most of his army alive, so that's pretty good. MCV stayed alive, it seems. Really good attack from BD there. Spetsnaz at the meantime is just way too passive with this army. Like, that MCV gets away? Are you flipping serious? That's crazy. Yaks here taking out the SD. Okay, okay. Seems like the army from Spetsnaz was on move command in the bottom. Yeah, this yak pressure is pretty good for Spetsnaz. BD should have some flak trucks. There it is. This is a good attack here as well. He's gonna get a couple of harvesters with that. And the army from BD got caught. Okay, another harvester being killed. And preserving his army, that's really good. Yeah, I think BD is going to win this in the end, I think. I'm not sure why you would use parabombs on power plant. Maybe he's hoping to get BD on low power, but even then he didn't make that happen. Yeah, BD also could have used Radar Dome, just making him make a couple of V2s, kill these flame towers, and that would have made this engagement so much easier for him. Regardless, he does have a strong army, he does have more heavy tanks. So he should be able to take this engagement against that big blob of army. Spetsnaz is throwing away all of his yaks just to force to get the engagement. And because of that, he might actually come out on top. But losing so many yaks, man. Definitely not worth. In the meantime, oh no. Hello, there's a veteran tree rifle killing all of your rifles. Oh no. Damn, Spetsnaz lost so many yaks, but he's still ahead in terms of army value, which is kind of crazy. BD threw a lot away in that engagement. I still gonna get this. I'm gonna give a general tip to BD in this situation. If you feel like you're hitting a wall and you don't have anywhere to go, go for tier 2. Especially here, like if you had a V2 with some yaks here, you could have cleaned this entire army up. And then that would have forced Spetsnaz to go in with yaks, which means you can clean that up. BD throws in the towel, and the first game goes to Spetsnaz.
Battle control terminated.
Alright.
Battle control initialized.
Last game of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Between BD and Spetsnaz. Once again, we're going to have a Soviet mirror. So I'm not sure if they actually went random, or this was a choice. But we're back on greener pastures. If we have to say the top 5, like let's say the top 3 maps being played in this season so far, it's definitely Einar, Abendland, and this one, Greener Pastures. I believe fourth is probably Assault, and fifth is most likely Overkill, I think. I think that's probably my top 5 of the matches that I've seen so far in most of the matches that got highlighted. Probably missing one. Oh no, wait. Maybe scrap overkill with elevation from I Like Men has been seen a lot of plays as well. The one that I haven't seen a lot is Infection from Whippy. I think that one made it into the pool. Hit the barrel! No! Oh! Oh. That is unfortunate. Anyway, sizable army for BD. 20 rifles, no NG investment. Wants to win with sheer numbers. Okay, well, he's still gonna get it. Nice. Good play. But is he going for an NG himself? Oh no! Oh no, no! Okay. He is sending a scout over. Nice, he went for the barrel instead. Otherwise, he might have lost that engagement. Not entirely sure. Luckily, he secures his NG. Let's hope that BD doesn't make any mistakes this time with his build order. But it seems like that is not going to be the case this time around. Again, with these War Factory placements, I don't get it. It is the ideal position for the MCV if you want to expand over here. But I feel like it's definitely the worst position for Harvester Reinforcement or Harvester Traveling, whatever you want to call it. Damn, we're getting some gossip about point 1 here. Point 1 called X a mini tux. That is probably the worst insult that you can receive. Oh, good flak truck. Gets the NG. And unfortunately that flak truck from Spetsnaz is getting away. BD getting some good value out of his flak truck right now. Oh, wait, Spetsnaz put his harvester production on hold? That was kind of questionable. But his timing still seems really well. But BD is ahead a little bit. Not that it's gonna matter that much. Wait, he's going for another harvester? Okay, he changed his mind. Yeah, he messed something up for sure. He's only on 4 harvesters with 3 refineries. That means he only made 1 harvester out of his war factory. You know, this one, and he's also not building anything right now. So it's now, this time around, it's actually Spetsnaz making build order mistakes here. So yeah, this one is going to be rough. This one could be in BD's favor for now. Spetsnaz is one of those players that is focused way too much on micro. Way too much. And that's like, focusing on micro is fine. But you know. Upps, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you even talking about? Like, 4 halves is a big deal. Like, you can't produce static defenses and infantry and tanks on 4 halves. It's not doable. So what is that going to cause? That's gonna cause stalling. That's gonna cause less production. It doesn't mean insta GG, like being a dick about it, but it's gonna put him behind for sure. And it's already doing that. Alright, so he decided to go for another harvester after the mine layer and after the MCV. Which is kind of crazy. Anyway, Spetsnaz is going to be the first one initializing the attack. I hope BD actually saw that, because his expansion might be in trouble. And for some reason, BD is just completely out of position. I do have to say that I like Cav build order a lot more on this map, where it just goes for this expansion straight away, then this one, straight into that one. And BD is actually going for double move out straight away, which is already causing him some issues. He can't keep two locations safe at the same time. And so far his army up in the left is doing nothing at all. But it seems Spetsnaz was a little bit hesitant to do so. So he should be able to keep that safe. Yeah, mine layer this time is going to work out. On a bigger map like this is definitely a lot better. And this time he's also taking a ore patch that is more logical. I only feel like this is a weird position in... Wait, he changed his mine? These are the worst 5 mines ever! What? Oh my god. Okay. Bro, the fact that this Mylair is gonna make it out alive is just super crazy. One of those harvesters is definitely going to fall sooner or later, at least 2. Which might actually be a lot of value in the late game. I'm actually waiting for it because I know it's gonna happen soon enough. Yeah, there's the first one going down. The mine layer makes it true? Oh my god. Okay, but BD once again made his own mine layer to make sure he can negate those mines from Spetsnaz. In the meantime, it's very quiet all around. Not much going on. Well, if anything, it does stop BD from harvesting for quite some time. But at the same time, not much damage will be done. Okay. Oh, this is Bait Tactics 101. And that is a big army going in. BD won't be able to stop that because he sent way too much over to deal with that. Flamethrowers and the flame towers are doing some decent damage, but it's not going to be enough. The MCV is being targeted, needs to undeploy. Doesn't get away in time. Flame towers are also not being microed, but Tesla coil definitely got some nice value. But that expansion got taken out, but a lot of army was lost there for Spetsnaz. So Spetsnaz currently in control in terms of eco. But BD with the bigger army. And here he is, already has taken out 2 harvesters. Pretty good trade so far still with his army. And taking a good trade here because of Defender's advantage. So yeah, Spetsnaz is in trouble to say the least. But once again, Spetsnaz is going to be the first one on Raider Dome. In the meantime, we have 3 harvesters from BD not working still because he was trying to take out the mines. And this could be worse. Yeah. Spetsnaz floating 9k cash. BD is stalling. And I believe that BD is going to be too scared to do anything so far. He can definitely win this with the army value he has. There we go. He realized it. But yeah, I would love, if there's anything that I could say about BD, is that I would love to see more tech play from him. That's the only thing that is really absent from his gameplay or game plan in general. And lots of passive play as well. So yeah, BD once again giving Spetsnaz the opportunity to make a comeback. That army value difference is becoming very, very small, only 6k left, whereas before it was at least 11k. Both players backing off. Okay. Spetsnaz should be able to see that. That's going to be a very, very poor trade for BD. This is one of those engagements where you might fall behind. BD's practicing tech a lot though lately. These are bad example games. I think these are the perfect example in terms of games. Because it doesn't matter if you're practicing tech in specific matches. That means you're preemptively going to do that. It's more about realizing when you have to use tech. Regardless, BD did go for Raider Dome this time around, minute 13. And he's utilizing his mine layer defensively right now, which is good. Alright, here comes the attack from Spetsnaz. So far, the army values are almost even again. Good defense from BD here. Alright, let's see what BD has in store for us. He knows that there's Tesla calls over there. He has a yak right now. He has 2 V2s to utilize. So he could put some nice pressure on the right side. Alright, this is going to be a very good defense for BD. And a very good engagement here on the right side as well. It's going to take out the refinery. It takes out another yak. Wow, that was fireworks of rockets. That's pretty cool. Yeah, BD needs to utilize this yak in V2 right now. And there we go. He's doing it. This is what he should have been doing the last game as well. Because that will force Spetsnaz to retaliate. And now BD should use the V2s in that engagement. That's exactly what he's going to do. Oh my god, that's a very effective yak crash. But BD definitely came out on top there. And now he still has the pressure. He still has the flak truck alive as well, to prevent any yaks from sniping more V2s. The only thing is, BD does put up the pressure, but BD keeps attacking from the same angle. And Spetsnaz this time is just ready. It would have been nice if he was able to go for this expansion, perhaps. Here's another attack. But once again got dealt by Spetsnaz. Wait, why did he leave that what? Oh no, all the V2s got destroyed by one yak. Or at least two, I'm assuming. But I wonder why he left the V2s behind with his army. Okay, we've seen a base crawl here from BD towards the main base. This is good. Okay. Very good so far. BD is definitely being a little bit more aggressive than Spetsnaz and playing it smart. Also, I feel like Spetsnaz invests way too much in rockets and loses them as well. Like I wish there was a an extra option where we could see how many units were lost. And you know, obviously that would be a high counter in terms of rifles and rockets. Maybe even tanks as well for big games. But it would be nice to see sometimes how much damage actually has been done. Like for example, let's say if a player lost like fucking 20 yaks in a 1v1, that's kind of huge, I would say. Anyways, things have calmed down a little bit, so let's take this time to look at the graphs. Earning graph is looking definitely really highly in BD's favor. Or Spetsnaz favor, excuse me. 11 harvesters, another yak, versus 7 harvesters for BD. And let's look at the army graph in the meantime. I have to take like a little bit of a dark thing so you can see the army value from BD a little bit better. But yeah, BD in general has been really ahead in terms of army value, but hasn't really utilized it well enough. Here comes Spetsnaz again through the middle, but mines are going to be effective this time. Oh, Spetsnaz is going to push his luck. Oh no, that army had a death wish. He sent them straight over the mine laying. That was crazy. Minefield was perfectly utilized right there. But again, yaks being used. And so many yaks just being taken out. This time Spetsnaz teched up to tier 3. We're seeing mammoths being produced. And Shocky's coming into play. Once again, BD is putting up the pressure with the V2s. And another 2 yaks just dying for no reason. This time Spetsnaz is trying to flank to take out the V2s. But that is not going to work. But this is good from BD so far. Hopefully he can keep putting up the pressure with the V2s. He has the yak vision. And he's also putting pressure on the left side. BD went to tier 3 as well. There we go. Especially against shock troopers, that is good value. And I really like seeing this right now. So now it's up to Spetsnaz to turn this around. Now Spetsnaz has to put up the pressure to deal with these V2s. At the same time, the V2s are a little bit, yeah, I was about to say exposed. But again, another yak been taken out. Zumps. Okay. So this push from BD has been very effective. And it seems like he's taking control of the situation eventually. Another yak going down for free. Oh, wow. Alright, the armor being in the back is going to cause that BD loses his engagement. We're seeing Shock Trooper versus Shock Trooper action here. Good V2 shot. On the other side, Mammoths are chipping away at the infantry. BD is finally giving the green light for this attack. Oh, he's getting MCV baited. Well, there are a lot of static defenses, but there's nothing that BD can't handle here. IC being used. It's a pretty good IC still. Not going to be able to do much. Flak Truck doesn't deal that much damage, and the Mammoth is fairly slow. So it's more of a IC to rescue himself. But yeah, all these little engagements made it so that Spetsnaz is coming closer once again in army value. And I really like the fact that definitely BD here is still a lot of yaks. Like, he can get a lot of value taking out shock troopers, because ever since the production of shock troopers, Spetsnaz doesn't have that many rockets or anti-air to deal with the yaks. Oh, are they going to go over the minefield again? Oh, look at that. All the shock troopers destroyed. Kind of crazy. Also, not a lot of rockets to be found for BD, and that's going to be hard if you want to fight Mammoths. Like, shock troopers are all around in terms of damage. They can deal with everything, but not as effective as their initial counterparts. Once again, BD is in a significant lead. Spetsnaz finally learning from BD as well, using the V2s to deal with the Tesla coils. But yeah, so far, like, the fact is the map has been divided like this for at least 15 minutes. Spetsnaz did once push BD off of this expansion. But the Mammoths here are once... Okay, I would have canceled that riff. I would have not placed that riff. I would have been ashamed of myself to do that. But it isn't even going to work because there's a Tesla coil there, so... Both players just V2ing each other right now. The death of both of these Tesla coils could have been prevented by this yak. So it's a little bit unfortunate. But these Mammoths are going to cause an issue. If we're talking about yaks are actually very, they're pretty effective versus Tesla tanks. Oh wow, but it gets sniped just like that. BD never build an Iron Curtain, which is mostly what you want to go for straight away if you build tier 3 as Soviets. Seems like the V2 has been dealt with on the right side. It's still a very close fight. I'm not sure who is going to win, but these Mammoth tanks running rampant, finding all the tech, is gonna cause a lot of problems. And look at the Veterancy 2 Mammoths already. Clutch Iron Curtain saves those. Those Mammoths are gonna form a real issue. And yeah, BD has no rockets, or close to none. If we look at his army, both players have 4 rockets. Seems like the Mammoth tank, oh wow, the Mammoth tread, I was about to say, is slowly being dealt with, but not really. And this is the damage output of shock troopers versus mammoths. It's close to nothing. It's still better than rifles, but yeah, I believe Spetsnaz might actually turn this around. Two mammoths right now are in the expansion of BD. BD is finally going to send over his army from the right side to the left. But yeah, I believe this is the comeback though that Spetsnaz was waiting for. With the mammoths. Just 4 mammoths sending through a different path straight into the expansion. And all 4 of them are still alive. These are close to get veterancy 3 as well. Oh my god, 3 shock troopers just like that. Eradicated. These ones are veterancy 1 now as well. There's 4 vetted mammoth tanks just running rampant in BD's base. Good Tesla tank usage there. But the rest of his army got cleaned up. These mammoth tanks are still running rampant. Oh no, another harvester over here. I'm waiting until they get veterancy 3, but it's gonna be a long time though. Another harvester going down. This has been won by 4 mammoth tanks. Yikes. GG, Spetsnaz comes out on top 2-0 over BD. Very clutch game. Wow. Just wow.
Battle control.
Hopefully BD learned a lot from these replays as well. Hope he will do better next time. And yeah, once again, that was it for today's weekly highlights. Don't forget, like I said, in total there were 26 games played last week. So if there are other matches that people want to see, please share with me the replays that you want me to cover later on this week in my Discord under the Red Alert channel. Because like I said, 26 replays. There's a lot of replays that Triple TP didn't watch or didn't pick for these highlight reels. So there could have been a lot of epic matches that didn't make it in today. So if we get enough submissions, I am going to do a part 2 later on this week. Anyways, that was it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks a ton everyone for watching and all the resubs and subs, all that good stuff. I enjoyed once again casting this for you guys. Don't forget, as usual, to stay cautious. If you enjoyed the content, please follow me on Twitch and YouTube and do all the share and love as well. I would appreciate it. And I will wish you all a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye.